I forced my kitten to cuddle with me. She's wrapped in a blanket, bored,
Aw.
ready to go.
Hello?
That is very cute.
It is until
hello?
she decides to bite me.
Hello?
Look, please.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, sorry. Hi, hello. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, hi.
Hi, hello, hi.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick. Oh. How do we do this in such a confusing manner?
Goo, please. I need to, like, keep my Discord
Are you
open,
guys?
but be able to mute myself.
One?
I thought we were 7.
Did you say 6 or 7?
I have 6 on my character sheet.
Level 6.
Did level up.
Scoomy sounds fake. He's like, I think we're level 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're actually level 20.
Pretty sure we're level 13.
Pretty sure you're wrong. Yeah. Hi, Kanzi. Hi, Goob. I'm tired. Still, I shouldn't be so tired, but I am. You know, I may take out the
I
cam
was
at
just
some
making sure
point.
you wouldn't have leveled up from the last fight.
Nah, you didn't tell us to, so I did not do
No,
the
we
thing.
didn't.
I mean, even if you did, you wouldn't do it this session because I don't think it'd be necessary. It would just be a lot of extra work. But
That's a weird way of saying we don't have combat today.
that's not necessarily true.
Wow. Wowie.
Don't put your luck. Don't put your luck.
Oh no.
So we can be as aggressive as we want in town and they can't fight us.
Oh yeah, that's that. You know,
Oh no, this is how we die.
Me, you ready?
Oh, no. Reg, please.
Reg is gonna
Let's go pick
get
fight.
you all.
Who's this cutie? My name's
The
Goob. Follow
whole
me
party kill.
on
This
on
was a Reginor's
Twitch.
true goal all along.
No.
Reg is the surprise. I told you guys, Reg is the main villain. Nobody listens.
I would believe it. I'd believe it. All along, it's always the quiet ones.
It is. It's true. Or the ones who have no idea what's happening.
Also true.
Neither does Norris, so I think you guys are safe.
How are you guys? How's your Sunday? How'd everybody sleep?
Okay, here it is.
Just trying to make sure we look okay on stream.
What the heck?
I think that's fine.
I'm reading up on stuff. Are you guys
Glad to be home. I bet you are.
ready to start?
I am.
So,
I was born ready.
oh,
All right. The thing. Oh, you guys are still in Everloon. Go there.
Should we not be?
No, it automatically brought me to the
Oh.
because I'm the DM. Okay. Yeah, actually, there was a secret session in between the last 2 sessions. You guys are no longer in Everloon. You left.
Yeah.
We all teleported away.
is this the Christmas special? Dun dun dun.
Maybe.
Nani?
it is. Who is
I'm
to
watching
say?
too much Doctor Who. I expect a Christmas special every 10 episodes.
That's
I want
right.
Christmas and I want it now.
Oh, where'd it go?
This better not be filler. Listen, someone in my chat was like, this better not be filler. And I'm like, you listen right now. We had so much lore
There,
last
look.
session.
There is no such thing as filler in this campaign.
Yeah, this is Steven Universe, no filler.
It's all relevant.
You only accept canon. Everything we do is canon. God.
It is canon. Whatever happens. Chris,
This session, Bacon's gonna end the session like, and then you woke up and it was all a dream.
We're like, oh.
You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
20.
Let's go.
Let's diggity do it.
Okay, so last time on D&D, you guys made your way into the great city of Everloon. This city is massive. Actually, let me put on a different song real quick because this. Yeah, I'm gonna save that song for a bit later. Heck. technical DM difficulties happening. Don't worry about it. Please. Ask the music.
I don't know if
player.
you have access to that, Kanzi, but I'll do it right now.
There you go.
Oh, y'all are gonna see the dashboard. Hold up. Awkward. Okay.
Last time on D&D, you guys made your way to the grand city of Everloon. Don't know too much about the city before. You were met with a large, massive city with big stone walls. Perhaps not the biggest city all of you have ever seen, but certainly the biggest city some of you have seen. Entering the city, you were eventually met with a lot of strange townsfolk, nobody who really stood out, but almost eerily so. And after making your way further into town, encountering a strange statue, a very tall, sort of rusted figure, you eventually made your way to this large... well, actually, no. First, you made your way to Danavar's house, a place for which you were told to go. A one-eyed half-orc named Drow Falev. And after a sort of small encounter with him, being teleported away via some magical wine, you eventually found yourself in the large tower. Town was seemingly built to, or explained to you, built to sort of protect. And being explained all this, being explained the nature of the Harpers, and everything that was sort of going on, you were... I'm offended.
Hey, Straw. What's up?
You eventually were
Goob is out
struck
of control.
as the tower started to shake. A large impact outside, and as you ran down the tower in the perfectly good aesthetic stairs, you made your way outside via the teleportation line and into the city, where you encountered several hill giants.
Oh no.
All of which were
Finals
different
are a pain.
sides, different entrances to the city. And you sprung into action, doing the best you could along with the help of the guards. Pell, Tenor, who you discovered to be members of the Harpers, though still your friends. And your new friend, Crowan, or, friend in quotation marks. And you along with Crowan, Pell, Tenor, and the guards, defended the town, as well as from the massive shield guardians, these large constructs of metal and wood and some sort of magic you can't quite understand that help to protect this town against these giants. Together you slayed them. However, after a strange encounter Elijah had, he noticed that under the boulder of where an unfortunate few people were crushed, he noticed that there was no apparent blood, no signs of apparent death, just... but unfortunately, due to his somewhat lack of strength, he was unable to remove any of these pieces from under the boulder, and instead made his way to continue the fight. After getting back to the tower, he questioned Crowan about this, and Crowan decided, in order to build mutual trust, he would explain. Lund had sprung up over the last couple of years as a town of a far-off kingdom called Crystalia, one of which none of you have ever heard of, but one of which he explained of great importance. He particularly surprised that most of you had never heard of it, as he did explain it was a far-off and very secluded, though advanced, kingdom. But nonetheless, he continued to explain the situation and explained that this town and most of its inhabitants were not
magic.
real, sort of constructs. Not all of them. It is a mercantile town, and a lot of the people that passed through as traveling merchants were real people, and likely had no idea as it is, and in fact, it is sort of a well-kept secret in order to
not
keep
accept
this
you?
guard tower
Oh Lord.
safe. But yes, you were explained this, and along with it, you were told about another town, Wellspring, a town very familiar to Corella and to Nor, as it is where
Hi,
they were
Lore.
from.
Hi, Lore.
And after explaining the relevance of this and how
Hi,
this
Juice.
town Wellspring was the same as Everloon, one with fake people, Nor and Corella were somewhat distraught, surprised that this town that they had been living in their whole lives was
Whoa.
not even real.
Plot twist.
But nonetheless, explaining, told them the situation with the giants and offered them an extended hand of friendship in exchange for to the Harper's teleportation circles. And that's where we left off. Sorry, there is one more thing that happened.
Oh.
After all that, everybody kind of went their separate ways for a bit.
Yes.
All dealing with the news as they could. Got very drunk and went off to a forest, climbed a tree, and stared up at the moon. Corella went to the roof, which has limited access, but her good old pal Crowan decided to let
Her new best friend.
friend Crowan that she very much loves.
Yes.
Let her go up to the top. And she spotted Nor, who was heading towards the side she's after. Meanwhile, Elijah and Turret were busy also getting drunk in a nearby tavern. I say both of them. It was mostly Elijah.
I'm
That
so
Turret
shocked.
didn't handle drinks. Harmony,
Unbelievable.
what were you doing during the last? Once everybody split off.
I guess she would have gone to find the church or religious could be available there, even though it's not real if there's no people working in it. So
there are people
she would have just gone there to pray.
working in it, and it's actually it's difficult to tell because he did explain that there are real people in this town, so it's hard to tell if the people, by design, if the people are real or not. But nonetheless, they do church duties. So you do in fact find a working and functioning church in the town. A bellman went off actually sort of a bit north to sleep ranch. Sort of sleep in nature. And everybody has found their way back to the tower and has gone to sleep for the night. As well, we found a new book on.
Last time on D&D, Elijah learned what a library was.
Elijah learned what a library was and read a book. Significance, who knows? But it was about.
It had words in it.
Yes, and now we find ourselves the next day, and everybody is awake.
And, Turret kind of just pats Elijah on the head. It's like, hey, how's it going, bud?
He just groans.
She giggles and then just like rips the sheets off. It's like, get up.
Rolls out of bed.
And before we get into it, I wanted to sort of add a new in my other campaigns I've been doing. I'd like to ask you all a question about your characters. I sort of just to get into the role playing.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Tell me more.
I'd like to ask. Yeah, you can do that in character.
Okay.
Before we start, I'd like to ask, when was the last time? No, actually, I think I'll ask a different question this time. What is each of your characters' favorite color? Something just about your character.
I'd probably say gold.
The shiniest gold.
A coincidence,
Does
because
not
Harmony's
surprise.
favorite color is gold.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2 golds.
We're going with the theme. I think Reginald would be silver.
Y'all are very fancy. Corella's favorite color is light blue.
Turd is, it's either orange or blue. It's a tie for those two.
Complimentary.
Yeah.
Where's Bellman?
Turd is a big Florida Gators fan.
I think Hammy said he couldn't play today. Right?
Oh, that's right. I bet it's like green, like trees.
I would assume it is green, or brown. Or
Like dirt. Yeah. Something like nature. What's
Yeah.
your favorite color? Nature. It's my favorite
I don't know. Based on
color.
that picture Nick did, it might be pink.
It's true. It could be.
You're not wrong.
Yes. It is time. Let me get this. Yeah. Now you are all awake, and you can head downstairs if you like. Any of you are full elves, so all of you sleep normally. So you all wake up around the same time.
Corella opens her door and looks left and right. Does she see her best friend?
God, waiting for her to wake up.
Yeah,
No,
is he
please.
sitting outside of her door or?
Crowan?
Yeah, my best friend Crowan.
No, he's actually not sitting outside your door.
Okay, she
thank
like
God.
visibly sighs, like a relieved sigh, and goes down the
I
stairs.
thought you meant like she was sad. I was like, wow, that was a change of pace.
No, she's like, oh, thank God, and then like she goes down the stairs to the main floor.
There he is waiting.
I know, he's like, boo. Jumps
go
out
down
from
to the-
behind a column, like.
It's me.
Go down. As you go down to the main floor, he is in fact waiting down.
She
there.
goes back up the stairs.
You see him sort of pacing around the room, reading some book. Seem to sort of acknowledge you entering the room as
Oh, he does or does not?
you enter the room.
Why do you keep cutting out for me?
Here, let me move my mic closer. Okay.
Mm.
I'm literally holding my mic in my hand as if I'm like
Eat the mic.
doing it like
Also,
yeah.
Eat it.
Yeah, I'm actually okay. So
So much
yeah,
better.
he is pacing around the room reading a book. He does not acknowledge you entering the room.
Excellent. She immediately leaves. I want to get out of the building.
Building? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Does everybody else come down first? Are you? I'll ask sort of out of character. Are you about to go shopping?
I sure am.
Well, are you
go get
gonna
breakfast.
bring together, or you can go on your own if you'd like?
She's gonna do it alone, unless somebody sees her leave or something. But she's not.
And
gonna, like-
Harmony would have already been up because she has to get up at dawn every morning.
That's true. Would you be downstairs or in?
I guess downstairs.
You
Already get a nice vegetarian breakfast.
you would likely see Corella start to leave, unless you actually want to like roll a stealth check, Corella.
I'd sneak out in the cover of daylight. I mean, it's not like a secret, but she's not announcing it. So if you're there, you'd see it. That's fine.
Okay.
Downstairs. What is everybody else doing?
I assume helping Elijah get a nice greasy breakfast.
Yeah. Elijah would have spent a little while getting ready, but he still looks like he got fucked up last night. His buttons aren't all the way done, and his hair's a little messy. He comes down.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You sure he's only
He probably
hungover?
has like a really nightgown or something.
Or what are you doing?
Who?
Hello. You.
Hello.
Hello? Oh, I didn't hear you say who you were talking to.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
Nobody got him up, so I imagine he's still in.
Yes, he got them.
You know, that's a fair point. I guess you stay in bed. After a little bit, your body will eventually just kind of wake you up. But for now, Carla, you go shopping.
Yes, please.
Okay. There are a lot of shops in town. For specific stuff, roll me a investigation check.
Okay.
And you have plenty of time to do this, so.
Where the hell is it? Oh, here we go. Yikes.
First roll.
You have advantage. You can roll again.
God bless you. Okay. That's such a bad investigation. It's like you can barely see.
That's still pretty low. So it does take you a while.
Should have
You
asked
do
me.
it.
I ran
you
across
do-
the whole fucking city.
You look like you
do-
just had sex with someone last night.
You do, in fact, find. Well, it depends on what it is you're looking for.
I would be looking for a shop that would sell any sort of like metalworking, like jewelry or like accessories, but not like swords and maces and stuff. Not like a blacksmith.
Okay. Yeah, it takes you quite a while. The city almost seems, almost kind of seems like a labyrinth, and how weirdly built it is. But you eventually, a sort of shop that meets this description. And hold on. Actually seems to you find what seems to almost be a bazaar of a kind. So it seems to be several shops in this place.
That's awfully convenient. Thank goodness.
And yes, there are. It does seem like there are several different shops in this place. But you walk inside, and hold on. It's sort of a big like tent. It seems like maybe this isn't actually part of the town, but a sort of traveling bazaar. A bunch of traveling salesmen. And let me change the song real quick. And you enter. And there's this large bunch of different shops that you can choose from. So what exactly are you looking for?
Actually, I want to does Carla see anything that's like a leatherworking table or like station? Someone who might sell leather goods.
Yes, you do.
Okay. She'd walk over to the thing, and if there was someone visibly sitting there, she'd be like, hello, good morning, kind sir and or madam. I don't know who's sitting there. And she'd ask if they had any sort of winter items, things that would keep someone warm in the winter.
This like sort of middle-aged man turns around and he says, yes, hello. Winter items. Well, it is that time of year, so it makes sense. Let me see what I can do. He kind of moves through and looks through several different things. He says, well, I've got some coats, some scarves. I've got some gloves.
She stops him when he shows her the gloves. And she gets excited, and she's like, "Oh, those look quite nice. Would I be able to look them over?"
Oh, of course. He puts them out on the table. There's sort of these black, with a little bit of a sort of silver lining. Like you can't tell if it's real silver or not, but it looks nice.
She'd ask are those the only pair of gloves that he has?
Oh, no, I do have some more. And he kind of reaches through and he pulls out.
Do you happen to have anything with a gold trim, perhaps?
Yes, I actually do. And he takes the gloves, and the ones he put up before, and a couple seconds later pulls out a almost identical looking pair of gloves, but the lining looks gold.
How much for this pair of fine gloves, good sir?
Well, they are a bit more expensive on account of the gold. I mean, it is, though it's not exactly the highest caliber, it is real gold. Give this to you for 3 gold pieces.
She would just pay him. She'd be like, "Oh, thank you. That's absolutely perfect."
And he takes the 3 gold pieces and he says, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, would you happen to know of any shop nearby that might specialize in fine jewelry or brooches or decorative items of that nature?
He kind of says, yes. Right around that corner of the bazaar, you'll find something, what you're looking for.
Okay, she would head that way, thank him, and head that way.
You sort of turn the corner.
Oh, actually, she would wait. Because I just remembered. She would just remember too. She would ask. Actually, I have one more question. You wouldn't happen to have a collar or something for a pet, or a leather collar that would be for a rather small animal, maybe like cat-sized.
As you turn back around, he's like, you hear, like, you start to walk back towards the thing and you hear some like aggressive footsteps, and he looks almost a little out of breath. He says, yes, sorry. He says, what, yes, a collar, sure, and he starts looking through stuff, and he pulls out a small cat-sized collar and says, do you have a cat? I'm quite a big fan of cats, I must say.
I don't personally have a cat. My good friend just recently became a pet owner, as it were.
No, how nice. And he says, well, tell you what, this is just... a gold piece.
Oh, that all cut out, but whatever the gold
Yeah.
pieces was. it's
He
okay.
says half. He says 5 silver pieces for the collar.
Gets red in your face.
It's 5. It's like, oh.
It's 5 silver pieces.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Sorry,
I just love cats.
Oh my god. I'm trying to put the screen on my new phone. I'm laughing way too.
What color is the collar? Just out of curiosity.
It's sort of a it's actually very similar to the thing you got before. It's kind of black and it has a little like golden tag.
Okay, that works. All right. She would give him 5. She would give him a gold piece and tell him to keep the change. Actually.
Thank you, ma'am. That's very kind of you.
Thank you. You're welcome, because I can't do math in real life, so take the gold piece. All right. So, she would now head to the other station now that I've got my life together.
Okay, sure. You sort of walk around the corner, and you get to this other place, and you see someone who looks almost exactly the same as the person you were just talking to.
Is he out of breath?
But he has a mustache.
Well, that can't be the same guy.
Obviously.
He says, "Oh, hello! what is it you're looking for?"
Wow, what a completely new person in this stall.
Yes. I don't know why you would mention something like that.
I didn't. I'm not using my accent. Bacon God. All right. She wouldn't even think much of it. Probably. Does he look out of breath?
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. Here we go.
It's hard to tell. He does kind of look a little out of breath.
Maybe he's just out of shape. That's fine. Maybe his asthma.
Yeah,
It's
you don't know.
All right. Good morning to you, sir. I was in the market for a modest-looking item of jewelry, perhaps a brooch, a pin of some kind, something with a floral motif.
He says, "Oh yes, yes, of course, it's perfect." And he's ducks behind the desk in the same way the other guy did. And he a few seconds later he sort of sits back up and he does a little flourish and he says, "What about this?" And he sort of is holding this small brooch, which has a sort of small and hold on, actually, let me make sure. He kind of pulls out, and it's this sort of small brooch with a describe. It's like it has kind of a dark green gem, and in the middle of it, there's sort of a small, almost like a sakura or like kind of like a cherry blossom. That's what I'm looking for. A cherry blossom flower.
Oh, that sounds pretty.
In the center of it.
She admires it for a moment, and then she glances at him and pauses, and she's like, "This might seem like an odd question, but you don't have anything in a goat motif, do you?"
A goat? Interesting that you would ask something like that. Are you asking about goat jewelry?
No, jewelry shaped like a goat, not jewelry for a goat.
Yeah, sure. Let me just. That's probably the strangest request I've got in a while. Let me see if I can find something like that. And he ducks down, and after a few seconds, he actually comes up with this small sort of a bracelet. It looks like it's not a very fancy bracelet. It's got kind of a black string, as if you would wrap around your hand. You might be able to wear it a necklace, but it's a bit short. But you could wrap it around your wrist, and it's got in the center of it a sort of silver looking goat head. I actually can't believe I had something like this. But...
I'm honestly genuinely surprised you carry anything this specific. I'm quite pleased.
I've got around. I carry a lot.
How much for this bracelet?
He says, let's see. For the bracelet, it'll be about 2 gold.
Okay, and I just have another query. You wouldn't happen to have any sort of hair ornament, something simple, not very flashy?
Hair ornament of what kind exactly?
Perhaps something that's in a moon motif or something of that nature, something with stars, perhaps. I'm not terribly picky. But I mean, then again, you did have a goat bracelet, so I'm sure moon is no problem for you.
Well, yeah, moon and stars, I can work with that. And he sort of dips down. And you can hear him rummaging through a lot of stuff.
It's like really loud.
Really loud. And after a few seconds, he comes up with this sort of hairpin. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what it would be. It's like the kind of hairpin where, like, it's got this sort of clip that you could just...
Yeah. I'm a connoisseur of pins for the hair. I do know.
And it has, believe it or not, it's sort of this circle, and in it there is what you actually didn't know what it is, but it's the same symbol that you vaguely recognized on the temple you found in the forest. He hands this to you and he says, I found this somewhere.
Out of character, I'm so impressed with him. He's really got it together.
I'm just imagining him, like, you say one more thing and he gets visually, like, distressed. Like, oh no, what else is she gonna ask me?
She has a lot of friends. Okay, she recognizes it and pauses and studies it, and goes, "You don't think this is too flashy for a man to wear, would you say? I think it's quite nice. Would you say it's unisex?
Nothing's too flashy for a man to wear.
Oh, good. How much for the pin would that be total with the bracelet?"
Well, as this pen is clearly very nice, I think 5 gold would be in order.
For the lot of it, or just the hairpin?
Pen.
Okay, so what do I owe him? 7? I want to hear my friend Bacon. Please work Discord.
Alright, sometimes I'm holding the mic as close as I can to my face. And sometimes it just doesn't work.
I know, I'm so sorry. Do you have a better microphone back there behind your booth?
I sure don't. I've tried. I'll have to figure something out, man. He ducks down. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Let me see if this works.
I can't stop
Anything. But what I just did might have helped. That was not in character.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm still doing the voice.
That's good. That's just good.
He kind of like wipes sweat off his brow and says, "Is there anything else you would need?"
Oh god, let me think. All right, so we got 4 things. I have 4 presents in my hand right now. I need one more. Let's see. This is me thinking out of character. Out of character, I have a very obviously non-related question, Juice.
Hi.
Does Turd runs around barefoot, right?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think she has boots.
Mountains, so she probably would have boots.
She's from the mountains, so I would assume she would have boots.
Okay. All right. Would you say that they're furry boots? Are they warm boots?
They would be furry boots, yes.
Oh,
Boots with the fur.
She sews.
Jesus Christ.
She makes blankets.
Oh,
and
she,
things.
she does love blankets. That's right. She made Elijah a blanket.
Oh.
I do have one question for you. Do you know if there's any a shop here for tapestries or blankets or hand woven
Yes.
items?
Yes, of course. It's just right around the corner.
How convenient! Everything just around the corner. Thank you so much. And she like traipses away after she pays him.
Yeah. You walk around the corner. You see another booth with a very similar man.
Does he have a mustache?
He has a sort of long beard. But it doesn't really actually match his hair color very well.
Can I do a perception check?
Do you need to?
She is very innocent and naive. She needs to. I obviously know what's going on. She would have no idea. Nope, she has no idea. Never mind.
The man says, "Oh, hello, new person I've never met. Nice to meet you."
Oh, hello. I was just recommended your shop by a man in a different booth. I'm looking for a gift for a very dear friend of mine.
Ah, yes. What was it you asked for again? I mean, what was it you wanted? What do you want? Who are you?
Where am I?
So my friend, she really appreciates handcrafted items, and I get the feeling that her favorite animal's a bear. Do you have anything with a bear motif on it, or?
Oh no.
Of course. He actually walks sort of behind into this little curtain and comes out holding an actual entire bear pelt. What about this?
What I mean, I suppose it was skinned by hand. That wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Perhaps something smaller and less cumbersome for me to carry. I'm quite small in relation to an entire bear.
He says, "Oh, I guess that's true." He walks back behind the curtain and comes out.
He's like, "Here's a bearskin rug."
It looks very similar.
Okay, he walks back. He walks in and comes back out with a small, what does actually look like a blanket, and it has sort of a. It's like the blanket is just this sort of gray, dark gray color, but there along the edges and seams, there's this sort of white line or pattern of shapes, and as you look at it, there is sort of looks like some bears and trees sort of lining the thing. And he says, this is pretty much all I got, actually.
Honestly, this is quite perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you going back into your back room or whatever's back there for me.
Yeah, yes.
How much would you say this blanket would cost?
Says, well, you've already given me. I mean, you've already. Let's just say 3 gold. 3 gold sounds good.
Oh my god.
God, I wish I had rolled higher. She would thank him for the discount and hand him 3 gold.
He takes the 3 gold and puts it in his bag.
Yeah, thank you so much for all your help. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
He says, "Oh, it's absolutely no worries. Feel free to recommend any of your friends to this place. I do sell more things than gave you. Just or my friends that also gave you things. I'm sure."
So subtle, I love it. And she just like she would wave and head back to the tower. She wouldn't really have anything else to do in the shops.
Okay, and you head back to the tower.
I would try to carry things in as stealthily of a manner as possible. Probably like shove everything in the blanket, I guess, so you couldn't see what was inside.
Time, because now we're sort of cutting back to everyone else. What was everybody else doing? Did anybody wake Reg up?
I for sure didn't.
Okay.
I probably did.
After a good a while. Hold on, let me.
Hey, Metagame Mike is in the chat. What's up, Mike?
Hi.
Boy, my man Mike, how's it going?
Mike.
My main DnD. As after a while, Nor, you do in fact
Finally, okay.
wake up.
Do I need a roll for my condition, or how's he doing?
Alive.
You felt better, but you felt worse.
Okay,
You know.
we need to make like a constitution check or something.
Yeah. What's the roll for being smashed?
Roll for sobriety, please.
Yeah, both Elijah and Nor, please roll me a
Saving throw.
no, just a check, just a constitution check.
Oh man.
It's the music from the shopping.
Noted.
Yeah.
Oh, nailed it. You did it.
Yikes.
Oy vey, my head. Oh, what a pain.
Oh my. Oh my god.
Okay.
Roll20's not loading. I'll have to refresh it.
You're so drunk, the website won't work.
Yeah, the website's like, no, he's drunk.
You're drunk, go home.
While you're working on that,
Yeah.
Nor, Elijah, you don't feel great. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not taking it the best. You might be able to ask Crowan if there's something he can do, but
Fuck
you
that.
don't.
I don't need
feel...
anyone.
I'll just
I
suffer.
don't need your help.
Yeah, but you don't feel great.
I have my head
Have you rolled
down
yet?
on
No,
the
you've not.
table.
No, it's working on it.
I have like my head on the table sideways,
Why
pouring
it's taking
food into
so
my
long to
mouth
reload?
while I'm reading.
That's what happens when I constantly accidentally close tabs, is I lose important stuff.
Yeah, I do that a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I accidentally closed out of the page for Hill Giants like 5 times last session.
You're like, heck, not again. Not like this.
Yeah. Well, while we're waiting for Reg, Harmony, what have you been doing?
Well,
This is a
Harmony,
good like 30 minutes before Corella will start heading back.
well, Harmony would have gotten up and had like morning prayers and all that, getting ready, you know, and had a beautiful
Yep.
vegetarian breakfast. So that's all done. Now I guess she has this cat.
I have
What
this,
is it?
Oh my god.
you
have
Of
this
course.
person who is following you. Reg, you actually feel pretty dang good.
Oh my god.
It's surprising given how much you drank last night, but you know you don't really feel it, you know.
Alright, so I guess he just happily comes downstairs,
He
Maybe-
just does like a
maybe-
cartwheel out of bed. I feel great.
gets up, yeah, I'm great.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I guess I go
yeah.
down, cheerily like greet Elijah. Hi friend, how are you this morning?
Please don't talk to me.
Hold on, let me,
Trying to see,
let me
did I get any? Do I have any spells for cure hangover?
I don't know if there's a spell that can do that. But
Elijah would swat your hand away and be like, "Don't touch me."
Dehydrated.
Leave me,
But
let me die.
Reg walks up to you, Elijah. Just completely fine, and you know that he was almost as drunk as you were last night.
I hate you so much.
What's the matter?
Reg, you were met. You were
Courage
face
now
to face.
proving we get Reg.
Yeah, nor you were face to face with Elijah, who looks awful.
It's just-
What are you made of? Ugh, he'll just look disgusted and smash his head back down on the table. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that does not. It doesn't feel great, Elijah.
He'll continue funneling eggs and food into his mouth.
Crowan has provided you all with whatever breakfast you asked for.
okay,
Um,
happily eating. Just happy as can be eating food.
Okay, Harmony is gonna look at Elisha and be
that's a
like,
good point. Yeah, I can buy that.
Yeah, it's like it cures
It
one
does.
disease.
It cures poison.
Yeah, alcohol
So-
poisoning
Yeah.
is basically a hangover, no? But
Yeah.
like, you know,
Huh?
not enough to kill you.
If you do happen to have lesser restoration, if you don't, there might be someone here who does.
I have lesser restoration, but you know, I could use that.
Ooh,
Or
spicy.
They're like a home remedy is better than magic, so we just gotta find a combination of hangover cures.
Or
Like-
Elijah.
Are you? Do you mention this out loud?
Yes.
The sound of this, Crowan,
Oh
who
boy.
has just kind of been pacing around, not.
Oh no.
He's just been reading a book. His face lights up and he turns and he says, "Oh, Mr. Elijah, was it?"
Oh my god.
He says, "Well, I do see that you are having some trouble, and personally, I have an old family recipe. We just call it Wakeup Juice where I'm from. That
Please
would
stop
it would.
talking to me.
I guarantee one sip of this stuff and you'll be that hangover will be gone."
He'll slide. You know, whenever you're a kid and you're taking a test or something, and they want you to put a folder up in front of you so nobody can see your paper. That's what he does with his book, and he moves it close to his face and he just hides away.
He turns to Harmony and he says, "Well, would you like me to make some for him? You did seem interested in it."
Yeah, I was thinking of the ones I've read about before. Pliny the Elder recommends deep frying a canary, but I don't know where to get a
I'm not
canary,
eating a
and I don't
canary.
think I could. I don't think I can really kill one just for a hangover, which is isn't technically a sin,
He-
but
he, he frowns at this and he says, "Oh well, unfortunately, I have no idea where we could possibly be getting a canary."
Thank you so much
as
for
he
the
says this,
sub,
you actually
by
hear
the
some
way,
chirping
Drake.
upstairs.
it's fine. I could never kill one anyway.
And he very loudly coughs. Says, anyways, he says,
Oh, boy.
but nonetheless, I do have a solution. I think would be fun, interesting. Well, it would work.
If Corella was here, boy, she'd be like, "Don't trust that man."
And he turns around, with not saying another word, and he goes to a shelf that's sort of seems to be filled with his roots, many different things, and pulls off this strange-looking root. It's sort of red and orange, and has a lot of little, like, I guess I don't want to say tendrils, but that kind of what they look like coming off it, and a couple other strange spices, and what looks to be some sort of alcohol. Puts them all on a table and goes to work. And after a minute or two, he walks over to Elijah and places this cup, sort of reddish orange liquid, in front of you, and he says,
I'm gonna leave it for a while, and then maybe eventually I'll reach for it.
all right. he sort of walks away. You reach for it?
In time.
Well, tell me when you do that.
Alright.
And Crowan, for no particular reason. And Crowan
Is it
walks
bubbling
away.
or anything? I'll like peek around my book and give it an eyeball.
It is kind of bubbling a little, but only a little.
I squint.
And he sort of walks away, and he walks up to Harmony and starts. Turd, where are you right now? Actually,
I'm just sitting at the table with Elijah right now.
I got you. Okay, Harmony, where are you?
She was probably watching very carefully the hangover cure being made.
Okay, roll me a perception check then.
Okie dokie.
Elijah's gonna flick a grape and try and see if he can get it in Turd's mouth.
Roll me sleight of hand.
What would I
Damn
have
it.
to roll to catch the grape and then like throw it right back at his face?
To catch the grape?
Oh damn.
Guess
That's going right for your face.
Also,
You have disadvantage when you're smashed? I can't remember.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm gonna say for the sake of this, yes. Perhaps not in all things.
Still pretty good though.
Yeah.
Pretty good throw. You would also have to roll sleight of hand contest.
Son of a bitch.
Whoa! Nicely done.
Elijah Turd just catches this grape right out of the air. Despite it being a surprisingly good throw for someone in your state.
Okay, wait. But
And
while I catch it, instead of like throwing it back at him, can I just smush it into his face?
absolutely. Absolutely. You take this and just smash it right into his face.
Oh,
Right in
no.
your forehead.
I'll wipe the juice off, and then I'll finally drink the dumb thing.
Yeah.
Just like, nice try.
Hold on. Sorry, I need to.
What does it
find
smell
it.
like?
Do you know what hot sauce smells like?
It smells like fire.
Because it smells like that.
Oh.
Hold
to
on,
smell.
let me just.
It smells like Frank's.
Sorry, I'm just looking for something. Where is it?
Has anyone seen Bellaman?
Bellman has actually not returned yet.
Ugh.
Do you miss him?
No, let them sleep in his tree.
Just looking for
He's
something.
probably spooning his goat.
He's just hugging a tree somewhere.
No.
He's literally just in a field, like, oh,
He's like, God, I love this tree.
oh, you're great.
Real good tree.
There are people walking by, like, what the fuck?
Okay, Elijah, you take a sip of this this drink, and is on fire. This is the hottest. It literally, like, your face turns red from how hot this is. You feel the urge to, like, run and find, like, water or anything to get this out of your mouth.
I fall out of my chair and just start stumbling for anywhere I could possibly go that might have water.
You run around and Crowan sort of laughs a little bit and points to a room, a door that's sort of in the library.
God damn it, I'm going to kill you!
And you run to this this small room, and there's a sort of basin of water in there.
Oh no! And then I dump my head in.
Your head in this water, and you have it in there for a solid couple seconds, and just like it is just like in a cartoon, like steam would be coming out of it. You're in this water, and after like sort of trying to rub this taste out of your mouth, off your tongue, it eventually starts to fade a little bit, though there is still a bit of and as you sort of sit back up, even though you have a little bit of this lingering spice in your tongue, you actually feel completely rejuvenated.
Oh.
You feel much better than you did before.
Oh man, I don't know if this is good or bad.
And you hear Crowan laughing up a storm from the other room.
Ugh. I need to start these alone. I'm gonna whip my wet hair around, see if I can find a towel, and sit back down.
There is a towel. In fact, it's all like in this room. There is literally this basin and a towel. It almost as if prepared for this exact event.
It's a trap. It's more spicy on the towel. Careful.
Oh!
Yeah. This place is so weird.
And yeah, you clean your hair and walk back to the table.
Ugh. I'm gonna finish up my reading then. So gonna ignore everybody else. This has not been enjoyable for me at all.
He just continues to laugh to himself and sort of walks away.
This is why I don't
and
trust people.
and after a little bit, Corella, you are now back at the tower.
Is this after Elijah's
This is after all of
running
this.
Okay. Dread.
Like directly after.
She would go back to her room.
Back in, everybody, you see Corella walk back in, and just immediately walk back up to her room. And yeah, I believe, is there anything else that anybody else wanted to do?
Harmony would really like that. Oh, she's gonna ask him,
yes,
like,
Harmony.
"Hey, what is that? What was that recipe you used on him?"
He laughed.
Written down.
Used on
Oh,
me.
and I totally forgot about your perception check. You actually noticed he put in a couple different spices, stuff like wouldn't seem to have this kind of effect. Like he put some parsley in there, just some like random spices, and he cut up this sort of this root, which you did not recognize, as well as. Which one of you pulled the root out of the ground in the forest? Does anybody remember?
I pulled that heart fruit out of the ground.
You actually did. Anybody else see that?
I think Bellman
I was
did.
gonna say I think Bellaman was there.
But nobody else.
No, I don't think so.
Well, then you see, you saw another root that he seemed to have cut up and put in there that you also don't recognize, and some sort of alcohol, like whiskey or something.
Does my book have any indication of what it is on it, or is it like really subtle looking?
It has the title of the book on the cover.
Yeah, never mind. It'll be fine. So, Harmony.
Before you do that, Scoom, I believe Harmony was asking
Oh, sorry.
Crowan about the thing. And music back on as I'm saying this, but Crowan says, well, it is a bit of a family recipe, but I suppose I can tell it to you. And he sort of turns and shows you the roots that he's cut up. And you can all hear this as he's talking.
Oh, do I see
and
the
he says,
fruit or the herb?
You can actually see it now as he's kind of.
Does it resemble the heart fruit that I had, or?
Does. There are two roots.
Oh.
Hold on.
This song is a bop.
I'll rummage through my pockets and be like, "Oh, so you've seen this before?" I'll slap it on the table.
And he says, yes, that is exactly what I use. Well, not 100%.
This thing.
And he says, well, it's sort of been debated for a long time, but that root is actually something that originated from Crystalia. It's spread out around these parts, though very rare. But the name of it is centuries. Some group of adventurers who discovered it couldn't decide on a name, and well, the rest is history. But some people refer to it as a heart root, others refer to it as a potato. Which one is?
Good data.
And he says, along with that root, he kind of laughs. He says, I use this, and he sort of motions towards the other root that he used. He says, this is a dragon's tongue root. It's about one of the hottest roots and spices you could possibly get.
You put that in my body.
I sure did. And he laughs and says, but it helped, did it not?
In a way.
Last, and he says, just be glad you didn't drink the whole thing.
Yikes.
Whoa.
And he says,
I would have become God.
the heart root isn't the most incredible healing, but it definitely has healing properties that a lot of other roots and plants don't really have. And he says, it's definitely pretty rare, so finding one around here especially is...
His eyes brighten as soon as he says that.
Dollar signs show up.
Yes.
Ka-ching.
As you bring it up, he says, I will warn you, not a lot of people actually know what it is, so selling it might not be super easy.
Tough.
He knew.
Typical.
He says, it might do you better to use it on yourself, but it's up to you, really. And he says, but nonetheless, it's been long enough. And he sort of motions to all of you, and he says, I'd like to take you all out for a bit.
Before we go out, I want to say to Harmony, hey Harmony.
Hello.
So, what's its name?
Oh.
And I'll point at the cat.
Yeah.
You know the flying cat that you just got yesterday?
It's following now. I hadn't given it a name. What's out of character? What does this cat look like? I know it's a cat. It's got wings.
Oh, he showed up.
Details on face structure, fur
Orange.
patterns, you know.
Lasagna.
Lasagna.
Does it hate Mondays?
Yeah.
It's not a big fan of Mondays. Not gonna lie. It is a sort of black cat for the most part, but around its face it has sort of gray splotches, and it has these long wings that are sort of like they're not like ridiculously long, but for it's hard to describe. They're almost like I don't want to say angelic in nature, but they're very nice looking.
Oh.
And I sent a picture of it the other day, but obviously it doesn't look exactly like that cat. But it is a sort of black cat with white splotches on its face. And wings.
All right. I'm thinking.
You don't have to name it.
She got put on the
No.
spot.
No,
That's
it's been put
insane.
on the spot. It's happening right now.
Oh no.
Friday in my lap right now, and he is also a black cat. He's a good boy. Name it after you? You want to be in Friday? Do you want to be in the D&D campaign?
You are absolutely welcome to name this Tristan after your real life cat.
Okay, yes, I am actually. I am doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, wholesome.
Aw.
Wow, I love it.
All right, you. I assume you tell Elijah then.
Yes, I'm going to name him Friday.
What's Friday for?
Well, he's kind of spooky looking. He's like a black cat, but Fridays.
He looks
Are
like
there Fridays?
he doesn't get it at all, and he's just like, oh,
Is Friday
okay.
a day of the week in this world, Bacon?
That's a
It
good
is.
question.
It
It
is.
is a day.
Okay.
Everyone's
Okay.
like, "What's a Friday?"
Yeah.
All your
Oh,
food.
I'd like to name him Oreo.
Yeah.
Like Oreos.
Yeah.
Yes, but it does have Oreos.
As you actually are having this conversation,
I'd like to name it Nike.
Nike was a Greek god or Roman god or whatever, so suck it.
as you're having this conversation, Bellaman actually stumbles back in the door and says,
I love trees.
"Hello, everybody." And so just walks in the room and sits in a chair.
Nailed it. Oh, kind of sad he missed Elijah's mouth being on fire. I feel like he would have really enjoyed it.
You would have
You would
loved that.
definitely- I assume Elijah will be trying to keep that secret from Bellaman. And Crowan says, perfect, you're all here.
Crow's
and
still
he-
upstairs. BT dubs.
And he walks upstairs and
Okay, I'm
knocks on your
just...
door.
Oh god, he's gonna start talking. I'm gonna hammer down and start really trying to plow through this book.
Knocks on your door, Corella.
She opens it, but like just a crack.
Crowan is.
There's just one light blue eye staring at him.
You open the crack and he is like right at the crack, like looking at you. And he says,
She's like, yes.
"Oh, hello. He says, everybody's downstairs. I'd like to talk to all of you for a bit.
What about?
Given the time of year it is, I thought it might be fun if, as a sort of showing of good faith, I took you guys somewhere nice."
That makes her perk up, and she opens the door completely wide open, and she's like, "Oh, well, why didn't you say so to begin with? Let's go." And she skips down the stairs because she likes fun with her friends. She's like, something
She
fun,
said-
great.
And you guys walk downstairs and he follows and he says, "Okay, well," together, and he says, "I thought I would. This would be a good opportunity to show you all what this teleportation circle can do."
Oh, before we go, Noir, do you need to use the bathroom? Make sure we go before we go on the trip.
He looks at Nora expectantly.
He'd be like, why would I need to go to the bathroom? I've gone this morning already.
I've gone to the bathroom this week. We're
I don't
good.
want to get halfway there, then you'll be like, oh, we could use the bathroom. Can we stop somewhere?
Turn this
I don't know.
teleportation
Nara's
circle
wanted
around.
to say a
Yeah.
bunch
Say
of
that,
spicy food.
Oh boy.
You're gonna have to poop. That's spicy food.
Oh man, that's spicy poops. Get
Oh,
ready.
no.
Oh no. You all. I assume you all follow him up the aesthetic stairs
Yes.
and to the large teleportation circle upstairs, and he says, "Well, this, it was the circle took a little damage the other day from the giant attacks shaking the tower, but I've done my best to repair it. It should be working fine."
Some duct tape.
Turd gives him his
spots,
side eye.
You
And
all
he
should
said-
probably survive and not die, maybe.
It should probably- I'd say there's a solid 50-50 chance you'll live. And he says, "Okay, well, I guess I'd like." Well, he sort of motions for all of you to stand in the teleportation circle. Bellman, his goat, are both. Bellman seems actually pretty reluctant to step in the circle, but out of just knowing that you in the fear that you guys might not come back, he decides he'll. And Crowan kind of looks at all of you expectantly, and he also steps in the circle.
It's morphin' time.
Zordon.
Yeah, Carla.
Well, do you all step into the circle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know.
get on in there.
I'll be
Sure.
reluctant, but eventually.
Someone shove him in.
Can do. Did it. Done.
You guys, you're all in the teleportation circle, and he says, "Okay, so I was thinking, since it's kind of cold this time of year, I could take you all to somewhere nice and warm." He, and he was like, and he says, "So I thought we would go, a town you may have been before, a town called Waterdeep."
Crown fades away.
And he says, "There's nice beaches around there, and I thought it'd be a good time."
Corla looks at him and goes, What's a beach?"
I'll explain later.
Oh, okay.
And as he does, he kind of touches his hands to the floor, and teleportation circle starts to light up. These symbols start to sort of move around, and hold on. Start to move around, and as they do, all right.
Right before we
Um,
teleport, Elijah's gonna be like, "You don't know what they be." Then we're gonna go.
As you were saying that, you, why isn't this song changing?
Bot, please.
I imagine the orc is just doing this nice little guitar in the background.
As he's doing this, the symbols on the magic circle start to sort of rotate and move. And he says, "Oh, this is going to be fantastic. It's been so long since I've..." And he looks at the circles and he says, "Right," and then... and you all
No,
disappear.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so confident.
Ah!
This extremely strange sensation. None of you have ever felt like this before. It feels like your atoms are, and not in a sort of painful way, but it feels like your atoms are almost separating and rebuilding themselves
That's not painful though.
somewhere
It's
else.
like Willy
But
Wonka with the ray.
yes, it is exactly like Willy Wonka.
It's like you had your first morning stretch.
All your bones are popping into place.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit weird, but suddenly you start to almost out of body experience as you're moving at incredible speeds, but also at the same time not moving at all. And eventually, you hear you suddenly, your eyes open, and you are in a but definitely different room. As you appear,
you all kind of fall to the floor and are a bit shaken. And there seems to be sort of sparks around you. And Crowan seems to be already up and moving, and the magic circle seems to be going kind of crazy. And he sort of starts like kicking at it as if to sort of scratch some parts out of it. And eventually, after you've all appeared, it stops. And he says, well, well, he looks at all of you. You're all kind of shaken up. He says, it seems there was maybe a bit more damage than I had previously thought. I just realized I haven't been in the call.
He hasn't been in the what?
She hasn't been in the what?
He hasn't been in the what?
I heard cult.
I just
but
realized
don't
I
think that's
disappeared
right.
from the call.
Oh.
I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Oh, the call.
Ew, yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
oh, yes.
Oh.
What was the last thing you heard?
He was just like that there was more damage
Taking
than he
more
thought.
damage than
yeah.
he thought.
Then you heard everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
we heard it.
we
Okay.
hecking did it.
Yeah, you are now in a different room, and he says, this was supposed to be a showing of good faith, but I don't think we're where we're supposed to be.
Oh.
I don't think I've been to wherever we are. I don't recognize this room.
Aren't we in the same place?
This is so
This is
typical.
He says it
Classic
looks,
Rowan.
it definitely looks familiar. but
Classic
it,
Crow.
it definitely looks like a Harper structure, but not the one I've ever been to. And he says, well, and there's a staircase. There's a door that's actually open, and there's a staircase. This one's leading up.
Okay. I'll take out my knife and start looking up the stairs for traps.
Roll me an investigation check.
Investigation. Investigation. Hey.
Wow, we.
You do not find any traps.
I have proficiency.
Yes, you don't see any traps. It seems like there are no traps active on the staircase.
I will not tell anyone and just keep walking, assuming they're gonna follow me.
Corella would follow him.
Yeah, in order to follow him as well.
Yep. Same
I
with
guess,
Jared.
wait for me.
Hold up, gang.
Don't leave me here.
Staircase.
Zoinks.
You're in front. You get to the top, and there is this door that seems to be sort of barred from the inside.
Do I hear anything?
But you do see light sort of filtering through the crack. It's fairly bright. It's hard to see anything that's actually outside.
Are there any locks, or is it just like a plank of wood that I can't probably move? So.
From your side, so
What was that?
it's barred from your side, but you can move it.
Alright, yeah, I'll move it and open the door.
Move it and open the door, and as you do, you feel this sort of freezing cold wind.
Fuck that!
His favorite.
I will run far away from that cold as possible. I'll sprint back down the stairs.
Sprint out that you see Elijah sprint back down the stairs. It's not like freezing cold in the sense that it'll hurt you, but it's colder than you.
I hate the cold. I will jump into Turret's arms. Where it is warm.
Carry me.
Yes.
Bird's ready to go right back out into that cold. I hope you know.
No, don't. It's like that scene from Brooklyn Nine-Nine where it's like Terry Crews and what's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll drop the coffees. He will for sure catch me. He will drop these 2 coffees and catch me.
You guys walk outside with this snowy landscape. which is something, and I guess the music just refuses to change when I want it to. But why are you doing this?
I was promised warmth.
Yes, this is extremely jarring for you, especially because you were told you were going somewhere warm. And there we go. And you see this snowy landscape, completely different from where you were before. And in fact, as you step outside, you can kind of see a while in front of you, and you seem to be somewhere in some snow away from you. It seems like a bit of a walk. You're not in the town, but actually sort of lit up and decorated. It's almost far enough away and in a weird enough situation where it almost seems like a mirage. To you. And you are now in this strange snowy landscape.
Yikes.
So I missed what about it looks
I
like a
imagine-
mirage. Is it just the whole
Yeah.
thing looks
It's like a little town,
Oh, okay.
village
Town
with
kind of
lights.
with lights and decorations and stuff. For what you do not know.
Is Turd still carrying Elijah?
As far as I know.
Are you guys at the front or the back of the group?
I would assume Turd would be at the front,
Yeah, I assume that like
like snow.
so Elijah turned around because he was like no cold. Nora would just be like, no, I'm going outside. Like walks down.
No angel.
Snow angel. I'm gonna make a snowman.
Is
Oh
there a
my
snowbank?
goodness.
Is there a nice big snowbank?
I think
Yes,
Nora would
no,
try to
maybe.
make a snowman though. I think that would be very him.
It is. There's
If
snow.
there's
everywhere.
Yeah,
cool,
can I
I'm
roll
gonna
to make
toss
a snowman?
Elijah.
Can I roll to make a
Let's make a snowman.
Bro?
Hello?
Oh, I
Hello?
miss my friend Bacon.
Hello?
Hello.
He's lit up.
Well, while he figures that out, since none of us can hear him, Corella would walk up to Turd, who's carrying Elijah in what I will only assume is bridal style.
Yes.
And
Hello.
wow, hello.
Oh.
Hello.
We can hear you. Wow, hello.
Hello?
Is that our TM?
It is.
Nope. No.
Nope.
Nope.
What the heck?
Oh,
There he is.
I heard heck.
Where the heck?
Yeah, you said heck. Hi.
Hi? Hello?
Hello?
Poor Carson.
Oh, well-
I'll just do this really quick. So,
This is so upsetting.
oh shit. Hi. Hello. Every time I get into something, your mic works. Hello. I wish I knew.
What is happening?
I don't
I'm
know.
not. Oh wait, can you hear me?
Now? Yeah. Hi.
Yes.
You're like in and out. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like every other time
Just-
your light lights up, I hear a thing you say.
Nope. Couldn't hear that. Couldn't hear that.
Technology.
Yeah.
Hang out right now.
Hi. Hello. I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Ella just wants to do a thing.
I just want to talk to Elijah.
Okay, do your thing. I'll keep trying to figure this out.
Okay. I'm like, hello? Alright, so she would go to where he's being carried like a princess, and, she would reach into her cloak and pull out the gloves that she brought, and she would tell him, she'd be like, I know how much you detest the cold, and I actually, I'd bought this, with you in mind anyway, and I was going to save it, but since it's actually freezing outside right now, I feel like you should use this now versus later when it's not actually as cold. And she would hand him the gloves.
What
Aw.
are these for?
I just thought you might like them.
Turd says put him on, and then begins to like chuck Elijah into a giant snowbank.
Oh no! Like put him on real fast.
Watch you fly through the air.
Tony, no.
Yay!
Ah!
Like,
Carla would be
trying
like, "Wow, you're so strong."
Turd just kind of gives her a wink.
Ooh.
Hear a mumbled scream.
trying so hard. Like, there has to be some sort of spell tieflings have that makes them warm. I have Infernal Legacy, but honestly, I don't understand it, so I don't think it can help me.
Funnily enough, that protects you against warmth, not cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
rip.
That's Hellish
I'd
Resistance.
say
That protects you against warmth, not cold.
Hellish Resistance protects you against warm. Like, Infernal Legacy is like, here's some spells you can do, but they're complicated and require levels.
I think I have a different thing because of my bloodline.
Yeah, he has a different infernal. You still have an infernal legacy. It's just not the same one.
Yeah, mine's different.
Yeah.
That's why I can turn invisible.
Yeah, mine is like, it has Burning Hands as a second level spell.
Jesus.
I don't know what Burning Hands is, though.
Oh, that's right. You're
Painful.
of Mephistopheles. Pretty powerful, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, person, we can hear you now.
I can just
Am I good?
I can set my
You good?
hands on fire.
Yeah, you're back to normal.
Sweet. I did literally nothing. It just stopped working and then started working.
You did it.
So we walk towards the town.
You all sort of walk towards the town. And let me
Climb out of my snow mound.
yes. You climb out of your snow mound, which you were so gracefully tossed straight into.
There's just an Elijah-shaped hole where you landed.
It's a strange town. It's not.
Hello?
Oh,
no.
Oh no. Oh,
Hello,
Hello?
Marco.
Polo. What's
Oh.
happening?
Hey, there we go.
They're back.
I'm so upset. You guys are walking towards this town. There's lots of strange decorations up. I'd like all of you to roll me a history check.
Do I even need to
Boy.
bother?
You can roll with advantage.
Me?
Row.
There we go. Good rolls. That's a good cannon roll.
Is this accurate? Should I have even rolled for this?
Hold on.
I don't know what a beach
well-
is.
Is this a beach?
Hold on. Let me find something real quick.
Oh, you sure this isn't a beach? I feel like this might be a beach.
It is not a
Seems
beach.
beachy.
You are Elijah. You are unbelievably certain this is not a beach.
This is not
Good
a
roll.
beach.
Aw.
Cass and Elijah, you actually both sort of recognize these decorations as decorations of a sort of holiday that's celebrated somewhat around this time of year, but it does seem a bit early.
Oh.
You guys are what I would describe as I would say they aren't called this in D&D, but it's like early December.
Like Friday, but not Friday. December, but not December.
This is strange. Those are holiday decorations.
Yeah, but time seems it's a little early for that.
Ooh, holidays? I
If
love
you-
holidays. What sort of holiday are they decorating for?
Holiday is known as. Hold on, let me make sure of something before.
Ooh, canon holiday?
It's canon holiday. It says, it's a celebration of a holiday called Candle Nights.
Hey.
Hooray!
Hey, nailed it.
Currently canon in D&D.
Thank you so much for that sub on track, that prime
Says,
subby. I
he says,
appreciate it, thank you.
let me see. He says what? I'm not, I don't even know why I said he says. You all, town which is celebrating this holiday candlelights, which I believe all of you would have probably at least heard of. Maybe not Turrid. Turrid, you might not have heard of it.
I don't think she would have. So I just
Probably
give a
have heard of it.
puzzling look towards Cassidy and Elijah.
I shrug.
He's very excited.
I don't celebrate this shit.
All of this, and also has no idea what this holiday is. And you all kind of look amongst this town, which is still sort of eerie. There's, despite all these decorations, there's nobody really. But you are now at the entrance to the town.
Should
Do
we
my
just start
gloves have
screaming
a
hello?
liner?
Yeah. yeah.
Hello? Oh
yeah,
my
everyone, hello.
Well,
Do they
yeah.
have like a fur lining inside or something?
Yeah,
What's
there-
happening? I'm holding it right in front.
No,
Hello,
you're
we
good,
hear
Chris.
you. We hear
You're
you.
here.
Hello. Yes, you would
You were
have
standing at the
furry-
entrance to the town.
You would have furry gloves with fancy golden trim.
Yes, you do, Elijah. You were also muted, Elijah.
Sorry about that.
He's crying because he's so moved.
No, I had to talk to someone.
You're all standing at the entrance of the town. What do you do?
I'm gonna walk on in.
Yeah, I'm like, let's explore.
You actually see there's a sort of sign above the town that says Callic. Callick. Perhaps is the name of the town.
We don't see anybody in the streets or anything like that.
You don't see anybody in the streets.
That's a
Yes.
funny way to spell the word beach.
Do we
Um,
smell
Yeah, Callic.
anything?
Did you say, do we smell anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you smell sort of a something sweet. You have no idea what it is though.
Oh, that's sketch.
Why is it sketch?
Nobody's here and we smell sweet stuff. I don't like it.
Well, maybe they're inside. You don't cook outside, not sweets, do you?
True. I would hate to be in this snow. Let's go somewhere warm.
Harmony actually doesn't have like sleeves and has like a kind of like, all right, yeah, because she's strong like that.
She's not weak like Elijah.
I was gonna say Turrid
I'm
takes the
very
little
weak.
Turrid takes like the little like fur pelt she has kind of over her shoulders, and she'll just give it to Elijah,
Aww.
pat him on the head.
Turrid, you actually feel very at home here. This is it's been a while, even despite it being winter or like early winter, that you haven't seen any snow around where you've been.
So Turrid's super like, and happy.
She's a Nord in Skyrim just running around in like a bikini in the snow.
Pretty much.
I feel nothing.
You continue moving into the town. You see there's a lot of houses, but a lot of the windows are all kind of there's lights on in all of the houses, but they're either shuttered or sort of fogged up, or really even iced over actually. Not
What time
fogged
of
up.
day is it?
It is actually kind of hard to tell because the sky is completely covered in clouds. You can't see the sun, but it's day.
They blew it up.
Blew it up. Okay,
Um,
so
I believe all of you start
We all
the
start
Sword
what?
Coast. You all have the map of the Sword Coast. You don't see this town marked anywhere on your map, no matter where you look.
Weird.
I sure don't.
Guys, we discovered a new town. It's not on the map.
Quick, rename it.
It's been built. We didn't discover it.
Then how come it's not on the map?
I'm not from here.
Crowan,
Maker.
Crowan is, stops at the entrance of the town and says,
This is all your fault.
if I get to work on fixing that teleportation circle.
Bring me somewhere warm.
He says, I'll get to that. And he sort of turns around and walks back towards the door.
Fuck. What are we going to do?
Can Turid start looking for like a tavern or an inn type thing?
Roll me an investigation check. But as you are doing this, the snow starts to pick up even more.
Help.
Is it
I-
good packing snow?
Yes.
Crunchy snow.
I want to make a snowman.
It's the good stuff.
good stuff.
Wow.
Can I roll to
Excellent.
make a snowman?
Absolutely, sure. You stop in your quest to find a tavern. As everybody, do you sort of just stop in the middle of like the street? All the houses, street, they're all sort of covered in snow.
Where
like blizzard in, but
he'd find a good spot for it.
What the
And
fuck is
it's
that
there
dog
for the
doing?
snowman.
there seems to be what might be a park.
Yeah, he'll do it there.
There's a fountain that's sort of frozen over.
Do it next to the
Um,
fountain.
We're building the snowman. Does anybody go with Reg, or do you all keep looking for the tavern?
Turid definitely goes with Reg. I get sidetracked.
Yeah.
That's
I need some.
so I'm like
now.
I used to do this as a kid. I'm totally down.
Now, Harm's gonna
Oh.
keep looking for
I
the
will-
tavern.
Yeah, we'll look for the tavern too.
Okay, Turd and Reg get a little distracted. Everybody else.
Mhm.
And it seems to be taking quite a while to find a tavern because all of the signs are covered in snow. All of the windows are sort of iced over. It's difficult to tell one building from the next.
I am proficient in investigation. But I'm not just letting you guys do all the work for me.
You're the one who's cold.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but you guys just aren't doing it.
I was gonna say, Turd calls over Corella, and it's just like, Corella, have you ever made one of these?
God damn it, I'll look myself.
Oh, you actually do
I-
kind of feel inclined. You do actually kind of feel inclined to build this.
Oh, I was gonna do it anyway. She was gonna sprint over there and be like, oh no, what's he doing? Looks
Noah.
rather fun.
It's like, oh no, come here, and if you can, find us some twigs and some rocks.
I'm actually very good at finding things that are not taverns, actually.
Elijah, Bellman, and Harmony, you all continue searching for a tavern, picking up more and more the farther you get into town. To the point where it's getting almost a little oppressive, but it's still, it's hard to see too far away from you right now, but you can still see in front of you.
I'm already hunched
Eventually-
over, and my arms.
Eventually, Elijah, Harmony, and Bellman, you all find a tavern. And you sort of walk up to the door. I assume you open.
I explode through the door.
You burst in the door. There's a burst of cold air. Snow starts to sort of go in, and you hear a voice from inside say, "Oh, what? Hurry up! Get inside!"
Oh my god, yes.
Do I see fire?
You walk inside and you see a fireplace.
I run to the fire.
Corella, Reg, and Turd, I'll get back to you in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
you can roll me. I'm trying to think what you would even roll for this. Well, roll me investigation checks to see if you can find like sticks and stuff.
Oh, would that be survival?
Oh,
No sense.
I need
and
sticks
you
to
can-
survive.
Or turret, whichever one. Actually, no. Just both of you roll a. I guess either survival or sleight of hand, whichever one is better for you. Both of you roll that, and whichever one of you gets higher, I'll take that roll.
Survival or sleight of hand?
Mm-hmm.
Building the snowman. Okay, you both rolled the same thing.
Oh, well,
You're equally good at making snowmen.
It
Yes.
does take you a while. I'll get back to you.
Let's split the
Elijah,
party.
yeah. You did in fact split the party. Elijah, Bellaman, and Reg, Elijah, Bellaman, and Harmony, you were all in this tavern now. The door is closed, and you see behind the counter people in the tavern. Not many, though. When I say couple, I mean it literally mean two. There's one person sitting at a table, a blue tiefling. Across from beard, sort of combed and very well put together. Which one?
The blue one.
He is pretty handsome. He looks pretty young though, not like a kid, but
He's fine.
Yes, but is he snack?
he's like probably in his 20s, and he's a snack for sure. He's pretty handsome.
Oh.
Harmony,
Harmony is gonna go straight to the fire, by the way. With
Same
Elisha.
you
yeah.
you all feel like going to walks over to you and says, "Oh, hello. Through at all."
No.
He says, "Oh, hello." He says, "Oh, hello. Who are all you folk?"
Ugh.
Hi, I'm Harmony.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh, I'm not in the. I was out of the thing again. I don't know how it keeps happening. Did you hear what I said? Did it come through?
Yeah, that he asked who they were.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I heard.
You know what? We do need a group name.
It's like a
It's
team
true that
name.
you split the party.
name.
Team name. Yeah, we'll decide. We'll put a pin in that.
Currently, you're half a group. So.
Yes.
says-
I am Elijah. This is Belle.
Nice to meet you. And he sort of holds out his hand as if to shake.
I don't shake his hand at all.
Harmony shakes his
Bell-
hand because she's very polite.
I do not.
Not shake his hand. Bellaman
Hey.
looks kind of just peeved with this whole situation. And Harmony, you shake his hand, and he nicely shakes your hand and says, "Nice to meet you." Well, I can't imagine how you even got here, and with the storms that have been going on, it was pretty light earlier, but right now
By mistake.
He laughs. He says, "Well, oh god, I just changed my voice completely." He says, "How exactly do you get to a town by mistake?"
Don't ask me. I'm just a guy.
Well,
Where even
He's-
are we? What is this?
he says-
place?
well, this is Kalik. It's a town in the mountains. And he says, "But I'm glad you got inside now because things are pretty bad out there right now." And now I'm gonna cut back away from you guys for a second.
Oh no.
Corella, Nor, and Turret, you are all outside, making a snowman, seemingly just kind of completely distracted from everything else that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you make this fantastic snowman. It looks great. You got little buttons, got arms. He looks super great. And as you sort of finish and are satisfied, it sort of clicks that half your group is just gone. It is snowing very, very hard. You can't see more than 10 feet in front of you. You feel alone.
Do I really?
Well, you feel alone with two other people.
Yes, excellent.
Excuse me, how would Turid be in this? Because this is kind of a very typical situation for her.
It does seem pretty typical, but this is almost unnatural how bad this snow
It's
is.
a magic storm.
Okay, so I'm just like slightly more okay with it than the other two.
Yes. Hey, hold on. My mic is below me.
Okay. A snowman looks absolutely stunning. He's beautiful and I love him. And we should think of a name for him. But first, I do believe we're missing 3 people and the snow is coming down rather hard. I wonder if we should go find them.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It seems to be getting slightly worse and worse as we're talking, so it might not be a bad idea to find shelter.
Okay. Is there any trace of their footsteps still in the snow, or is
It's whatever footsteps that were there are completely covered by snow now.
I mean, I'm sure if we
All
listen
right.
closely, we can hear the sound of Elijah whining.
Turid gives her a really good like smile and nod.
I would like you all to roll me investigation checks with disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm already
Oh,
doing really bad with them. Let's go.
Shoot, how do I do that with disadvantage again?
On your sheet, on top, under where your name and stuff is, there's advantage, normal, and disadvantage.
Oh, there we go.
Like right
Thank
under
you.
rare races.
Mm-hmm.
And you said investigation, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, whoa.
Ah.
There's a nat 20 in there.
Turid, you with your sort of expertise with these sort of situations, you eventually slowly make your way towards a building which has the lights on. As you sort of approach this house, you get close to it and you start. There's sort of a couple different houses, and there's some alleyways. And you swear for a second you see something move between the alleyways. But before you can tell what it is, it
Nani?
disappears.
Nani?
Alright, so should we roll search? Do we need to search for the tavern the same as they did then?
You can either. It's getting very, very cold, and it's getting even harder to see in front of you.
Time to die.
You can continue trying to search for the tavern specifically, or you can get inside whatever this building in front of you is.
Oh.
Let's
That might
see.
be the best idea.
Well, I'll roll 1 and then I'll
Elijah
just
would
get in
be-
the house if I don't find it.
If anything,
Okay.
Elijah would be worried about Turid and where she
think
is.
I
So he'd,
actually-
like open the door and yell or something.
No, you
You-
abandon her. You clearly don't love
I would
her.
never abandon her.
Sounds fake.
Elijah, you open the door and yell for Turid. Or anything.
Probably because his resolve is weak.
Aw. Corella's my
kidding.
new best friend.
No, I'm not saying it in character, Rip. No, this is Bunny being spicy. Cruella would never say that. She would, however, follow Turd wherever she went. So if she went inside the house in front of her, Corella's going to.
Yeah, I think it's best to go inside.
You head inside.
I'll grab
um,
Nor by the wrist and yank him inside
Okay.
with us.
Okay.
You all head inside, and you open the door and head inside, and you are actually met with the door. Well, I say you head inside. You walk in the door. The door seems to be locked. Lights are on inside.
I knock on the door.
You knock on the door, and after a couple minutes, a small. Well, the door opens, and in front of you, you almost don't see him at first. You have to look down. You see a small gnome, and he's wearing a sort of small robes, and he says, "Oh, hello." Says, "Do come in." And he sort of moves out of the way for you to come inside. As you start walking in, he seems to be giving you very suspicious looking eyes, but doesn't seem to do anything.
I mean,
And it's visibly suspicious.
he let us into his house with no questions. Why is he suspicious now?
Well, that does seem very strange. Like it's not like he's trying to hide it. He seems very suspicious of you, and yet completely lets you into his home.
Thank you so much, good sir. I appreciate your kindness. We just need to take some refuge from the horrible storm outside.
Oh, yes, of course, I've noticed. And he closes the door behind you and he says, well, introductions are in order. And he sort of holds out his small hand and he says, my name is Smakrilmo.
Okay.
Mhm.
And he looks amongst all of you and says, what are all your names?
Well, I can't top his. It's very
How
upsetting.
am I supposed to be that?
I can't beat that. She would shake his hand and introduce herself. Oh, hello, my name's Corella.
Ah, what a weird name.
Oh, I'm sorry, not all of us can be called Smagorkle or whatever your name is.
Smakrilmo. Thank you.
Close enough.
Turd kind of leans down and gives him like 3 fingers, assuming that's how big his hands are, and shakes like, and like kind of looks at him with a weird like side. He's like, Turd.
And you? And he motions towards Nor.
I'm Nor.
Oh, nice to meet you, Nor. And he says, hold on. And he sort of shouts up and he says, hey, we've got more visitors. For a couple seconds, 2 more people come down. You see a dragonborn, first of all, which I don't believe any of you have encountered on your journey so far. You see this dragon-like person. It's a strange mix between a dragon and a human. And it is actually white-scaled dragonborn. And beside him, you see a blue tiefling.
Hello. Who are your friends?
He says, well, I mean, to be honest, we're not that well acquainted. They're also taking refuge in my house. And they walk downstairs, and the dragonborn pipes up and says, and he holds out his large hand and he says, the name's Burke. And he sort of holds his hand out, first to Turd, because she seems like the strongest of the 3 of you.
She 100% is. That is a good assumption.
And he
Turd.
sort of holds his hand out.
Turd gets back up and shakes his hand. Turd.
He shakes your hand. He has a very tight, strong grip.
Oh man.
What is Turd?
Ooh.
True. You see this the blue tiefling sort of walk up, and he says, "Hello. My name is Jaren." He seems kind of shy. He has these sort of round glasses.
Aw.
Oh.
My name's Jaren. Sorry, you haven't happened to see any other people who look like me, have you?
No. I imagine.
You have
no,
not.
I'm so sorry. I can't say that I have.
He
But
says,
it is nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too. I'm sorry. I have two brothers, and when the storms started coming in, I haven't seen them since.
I see.
Smash cut back to the other group. Tiefling with you guys introduces himself and says, hello, my name is Derek. He extends a hand and he says, you haven't happened to see anybody who looks like me, have you?" Which you have not.
We just got here.
That's most unfortunate.
I haven't seen anyone.
He says, well, hopefully they're okay. I mean, you said you came from out of town, right? If you managed to make it to one of the houses, they're probably fine as well. Hope, at least. And you were just sort of in this house. And after a little while, both groups, you sort of sit. If there's anything specific you'd like to do, just tell me. But otherwise, you sort of sit for a while and try to wait out the storm.
Nope, just get a hot drink and finish my book.
Yeah,
You
let's
keep
get some
reading for a while.
tea.
As you are, the dwarf in your group says, "Oh, I guess you're not from around here, but I assume you heard of candlelights, right?"
Harmony's gonna wave her hand like, yes!
Well, obviously that time of year, and we've been celebrating it, but just a couple. These storms just started, haven't stopped.
Bit early to be celebrating.
Oh well, Candle Nights is a sort of holiday that at least we feel in this town can be celebrated where it feels right. And it just seemed like the right time for the town, I suppose. Something seems off. I won't even make you make an insight check for this. Something seems off about what he's saying, but not intentionally so. It seems right, but it doesn't seem like he's lying to you. And back in your the other group, something to similar effect about Candle Nights, but says, we started Candle Nights a bit early this year. I'm not exactly sure why. It's certainly something we celebrate every year, but people were going on about how, it had to start early, and once it did start, all this started happening. Decorations all over town, but I don't know anything about it.
That seems a bit strange.
He says, yes, it does, but there's nothing I can really do about it. And pipes up and says, yeah, well, it bothered me, but I gotta say, that's no natural cold.
Can I do an Arcana check?
On who or what?
I don't know. I mean, like, we're surrounded by this storm and stuff. Do I just sense any, like, magical... Not, like, on a specific person in the house, but just the vibe of the town? Does it feel...
Roll me an Arcana check, yeah. You sort of walk outside. It's very difficult to tell why exactly this would be happening, but it definitely doesn't seem natural to you. You're not super experienced with snow. This is probably the first snow you've seen.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's okay. I guess that's how I do that. I don't know.
You cast it as a ritual, so you don't have to consume a spell slot.
I know, but I don't know how to do that. I'm really dumb.
It
How
just
can I
takes
make it
10
do it?
minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Oh, I thought it, like, I had to click it different, not like, how do I do a ritual? Okay, that's fine.
You perform detect magic as a ritual, and after 10 minutes, any magic around you. You sense a little bit of you sense magic in a couple different places. Which one of you has the harp, by the way?
Is it in my bag or is it on one of you guys?
What, the root?
It's the harp.
Oh, the harp. I have it.
Okay, you have the harp.
I sense my own magic.
Yes, you do sense actually a strong amount of magic coming from the harp. Several different types of magic, but you also sense some magic coming from something in Smakrilmo's robe. You sense some magic you actually sense some magic in the pouch of the Dragonborn, the pouch of the Tiefling of Smakrilmo, and outside there is this strong amount of magic emanating from the snow. And I believe it tells you what magic tell you what kind of school of magic. Yes, it does.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. I tell you exactly what it is. Okay. The robes of Smakromo, you sense abjuration magic. In the bag of Burke, you sense magic. In the bag of the Tiefling, I believe Jaren was his name. Or Jaren, sorry, Jaren. You sense
Oh my god, I literally did not hear any of the schools of magic.
Okay, from Smakromo's robe, you sense abjuration. From the bag of Burke, you sense evocation. From the snow, you sense enchantment. The Tiefling's bag, you also sense magic.
I also sense what magic?
Coming from the Tiefling's bag.
Oh my god, I can't hear. I'm sorry. Just type it. I feel bad making you repeat it 20 times. Just type the thing.
Magic from the Tiefling's bag.
I didn't hear you either, Scooby. You sound very
Typed-
quiet.
I typed it in chat.
There we go.
In roll 20?
It's Twitch chat.
Oh, sorry.
Chat. Oh my God.
I'm looking in 3 different places. Sorry. Okay, illusion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Illusion. Yes, illusion.
So who had the illusion? The gnome?
Bag. And the snow was enchantment. And so on and so forth.
I see. I think mostly. I heard half of it. Someone else will pay attention for me later. All right. I mean, it doesn't necessarily seem connected to her, so I don't think I'd pursue it.
Definitely,
just yet.
you definitely sense magic coming from the snow.
Good news, everyone. It's magic snow.
Not eat it.
Well, I mean, it also says that I can tell. Let's see. So I can sense it, the presence of it if it's up to 30 feet away. Does it show me like a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area? So like if I'm outside and I sense the magic from the snow, does it seem like there's a centralized location that's 30 feet within where I am, or no?
No, it seems like the aura is surrounding all of the snow, and it's almost overwhelming.
Okay. All right.
Seem like ridiculously strong magic, but there's so much of it that it's everywhere.
Okay, fun. All right. Should go back inside and close the door.
To the other group, sort of sitting with this dwarf and this other tiefling. And after a while of sitting there and just sort of discussing what's happening, the fireplace obviously has a chimney above it, and suddenly a ton of snow starts pouring in. dangerous to you currently, but the snow just starts pouring in and it completely puts out the fire. But the snow does seem to keep going. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just went into a playlist to like pick a different song, and 90% of the songs in the playlist have been deleted.
No.
I hate when this happens.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting.
Okay.
I was
this one's
promised
good.
warmth, and I get the total opposite in excess.
And let me do this. I hate, why doesn't this ever work the way I want it to? There we go. Okay. The snow starts to pour in from the roof. It's very oppressive, and it does not stop. The snow just keeps coming in. It starts like it doesn't. It's not like filling up the room super fast, but it's not stopping.
Okay, we need to fix that.
I mean, I can hide from the snow.
And the dwarf and the tiefling both start trying to like block the fireplace, but the snow just keeps coming in a very almost unnatural way, and it's starting to like cover the floors to get progressively more and more cold.
Does anybody know any fire magic?
I do not know anything. I'm not magical at all.
I think you're pretty magical, Scoop.
Aw.
Wowie.
Thanks.
As this is all happening, Corella, this is when you were sort of opening the door looking at the snow. You suddenly hear a very distant and almost echoey in Elijah's voice.
Wait, I can hear Elijah?
You hear Elijah yelling "turret" just once or twice.
This is spooky.
Yeah, so I'm hearing a thing he said after he's at, like, I don't know that it's after he said it,
out
right?
of
But
character.
yes.
He said this a while ago.
Okay. All right. So I haven't technically closed the door yet, if I heard it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'd look at Turd and I'd go, "Did you hear that? It sounded like Elijah's screaming for you through the snow."
Turd gets up and like goes towards the door.
It was coming from that
Look
general
around.
direction, and I point to wherever the DM says it was.
It's to be coming like out the door to the left.
He might be in trouble. You know, he does have a penchant for that.
With that, Turd probably steps outside and goes towards the noise.
I'm ever so sorry, gentlemen. I think we are going to have to depart swiftly.
You guys start to walk out.
Yeah, I grab Nora by the wrist again and just follow Turd in the snow.
The tiefling.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Oh man, I don't know what's happening. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
All three of them, the tiefling, the dragonborn, and Smokromo, all follow behind you and say, "Listen, it's not safe out here." And the Smokromo says, "At least we'll be stronger in numbers." And they all seem to.
What a bunch of nice strangers.
Just squatted up, you guys.
Turd just nods but keeps going towards the direction that Corella told her. Friend is out there.
Does she have to, like, roll to see if she can find it?
Yes, but hold on. Am I coming through?
Now you are, yeah.
Yeah.
They say, or sorry, they all.
Oh no.
Oh
Is that cut out?
no.
Why does Discord tease me like this?
Yeah, you did. Right?
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Hopefully, I don't cut out. All three of them seem to be following you for different reasons. The Smakromo seems to be following you because he knows it's dangerous and he's trying to not lose the few people that are here because something is clearly going on outside. The Dragonborn seems like he's just ready to fight something, to be honest, and the Tiefling seems to just almost as if by pure.
Big mood.
And all of you are following. Roll me all investigation checks again with disadvantage, and I will also roll for the other three.
Okay.
You guys, by the way,
Oh,
the room.
good lord.
The room is
Oh.
to fill with snow and ice. The
Oh my
floors are
goodness.
freezing.
Um,
It's not. It's looking very dangerous at this point.
Wow,
to
that
stay
sure
in
is
this-
an 8.
Very dangerous to stay inside this building right now.
okay, I might be able to cast some kind of fire spell, but I need help. I need help.
Engaging check.
Oh yeah. Damn.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, Reg is with the other. Wait. Is it Reg?
I'm with Corella and Turd.
You not gonna roll investigation, buddy?
Oh, I thought Turd was rolling. My bad.
I mean, we're all running in the snow. I don't know. I don't know if you have to or
Okay.
anything. I thought it was
Have
just
a,
all of us.
do you have a fire spell?
No,
Hmm.
I do not. Okay, I thought it didn't involve me. I was like, well, okay, yeah, no, I do not.
I have a fire spell, but I'm not over there.
Yeah, I'm not over there either.
Is Harmony? Harmony, do you have any sort of thing like that?
Maybe you guys can read this. Tell me if it is, because I'm a little confused by it.
Legacy.
It's my infernal
Yes,
legacy
burn-
from Mephisto.
Burning hands would help, but it might also catch
I was
the
gonna
house
say,
on fire.
yeah, you might start
A little
fire.
more brutal. I think Flame Blade would be more useful, but I don't think I'm 5th level. That sounds very high.
Aren't we all 6?
However, Flame Blade wouldn't really help against the snow. It would help against like fight. It's more of a fighting spell.
Yeah, but maybe
I
it's
guess you
more.
could. I guess you could cut through snow, but it wouldn't really stop the spreading of it.
Okay,
but
I'll
yes,
hold-
you
I'll
can.
just
You're
hold
6th
on to
level,
that.
you can cast it.
Okay, I'll just hold on to the Flame Blade.
It's.
later.
It seems like your only options are to try to stop this somehow or to leave the building.
Okay.
And the dwarf, seemingly not being able to really do much about this. He has a maul in his hand, but obviously it's not going to do much against the snow. The other tiefling, he seems to be.
Oh.
I guess he wouldn't blow anything. He seems to be trying to think of a way to stop this too, but he can't come up with anything.
Okay.
Eventually, rolled your investigation check yet?
Reg.
Yeah.
Zero.
Sorry, I didn't hear that, Ben.
Investigation
Eh,
with disadvantage.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Disadvantage.
Okay,
Bro.
well, actually, after a while, though it does take a while, eventually, the other tiefling that's with you actually sort of sees another a light in the distance. And before I say what happens next, the other group, what do you do? Do you stay in the building or do you leave?
Guys, we might have to leave.
I'm fine with that.
But what do you?
We're just going to die in here.
We can find a better building.
Yeah, let's find a better building.
Oh my god.
One without
Okay.
a fireplace.
Okay, sure. So you all walk outside. The dwarf and tiefling follow with you because they obviously don't want to stay in this building either. And you walk outside as the whole building starts to freeze over with ice. And in fact, if as you guys are kind of standing outside, it's so hard to see in front of you. After just a little bit more time, where to go, you see some figures approaching you.
I'm gonna be screaming for Turid.
And as you scream for Turid, you hear Elijah screaming for you.
I run in that direction.
As you approach, you see some figures standing in front of what seems to be a house. These, and the closer you get, you hear them. The other group, you guys are sitting there for a while. You still, it seemed like there's figures, but it's almost like it seems like they're moving, but they don't seem to be getting any closer. In anime, when like they're running, the legs are moving, but they're not actually moving. It's like that.
One part Monty Python.
And but eventually, you meet up with the other group. You are now you all see each other, and behind you is an entirely frozen house. You are all very, very cold.
Not a house, but it broke.
And Smacromo yells out, this isn't going to last. We're going to need to find the source of this thing and cut it off.
Source of the
just
snow?
kind of
The weather?
Yes,
looks at him as like,
he looks.
you can't turn off clouds.
You're gonna try to die?
He motions around and he says, "Isn't it obvious? This is clearly not natural snow. Have any of you seen a snowstorm before?"
I've
Yes.
never
Harmony's
seen
gonna shake her
Often.
anything.
head.
This guy's gonna have an aneurysm.
Yes.
First time I've seen snow.
And he says, "Well, listen, is there anywhere in town that it seemed to get particularly bad, particularly fast? Did anybody notice anything?"
Up
and
your fucking chimney.
it's true.
I think your chimney's
But,
the worst.
You did.
Was it bad in the plaza, the fountain that we were
I
at?
think once we
They
passed
seem to
by
get-
the sign, right, was when it
It
got
did seem to
worse.
get very rapidly bad from around where you were in that park, the plaza.
So you're telling me we almost found the solution by making a snowman? God.
I don't know.
I know that's a very
Who is to say?
northern-
It did seem to get aggressively bad there. And you all sort of realized this.
Nor did not realize this, but maybe I'll.
Nor is thinking about how cool the snowman was.
He said, I want to show you guys my snowman.
No, we go find the thing. He's like, guys, I know this is important. Can we go check out that snowman we made? 'Cause I want y'all to see it.
Would we have to roll an investigation to find our way there?
Yes. I want you all of you to roll investigation, and I will
love
take the
rolling.
next roll.
Damn.
Damn.
Uh-oh.
Oof.
Oh,
Harmony
I'm
doesn't know
so
where
bad
she
at
is.
this. My
With
roll
Harmony
is
has no
bad.
idea where she is right now.
Fuck.
I was gonna say you roll with disadvantage, but you rolled in that one anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Balaman.
I know.
Oh.
I'm guessing
All of
Turd
you
might
see-
be able to find her way.
Having a difficult time, but Turid, because of your
Oh, thank
expertise
goodness.
with these snowy environments, you eventually make your way back to where this was. You're all very cold. Your movement is sort of slowed because of this, but you eventually make it back. And you actually, as you get here, you see your snowman, first of all, most importantly, but you also see sort of in a little bit of the distance a glowing light. And
Is it less than 120 feet away from us?
it's
Can I try...
pretty much like it's exactly like 100 feet away.
Can I try to cast Dispel Magic?
Yes, you can.
I would want to cast it at a higher level and use spell points, but I don't remember how to do that.
I believe you just cast it in a higher level spell slot.
I don't know. Let's see see what happens. What happens if I click this? Oh yes, cast at what level? Yay!
Okay, so you're doing a 4th level spell?
I have 7
Okay.
points. I don't know. I don't need that many.
Or less than level spell slot. You cast Dispel Magic on this glowing orb. And after a few seconds, it disappears. And snow starts to slowly fade away. And fades, you can sort of see better around you. And as it does, you suddenly notice that you are surrounded by these looking ice creatures.
I hate the snow.
One of you see where the orb would have been. Under it, you see a sort of large chunk of ice. In which is encased a blue tiefling.
Oh.
Oh, that might be your brother.
Yes, the two tieflings seem very distraught by this.
That's
sight.
fucked up.
And I'd like all of you to roll initiative.
Ah.
Hey!
Hey!
I'm just glad I got rid of the snow.
That was actually you have no idea how helpful that was for you.
Dang.
I mean, I feel like we were gonna die if I didn't figure out how to make it
Gotten
stop.
assaulted.
It was bad.
Welcome to my Nightmare Before Candle Nights campaign.
Would have gotten a surprise attack.
Yeah,
ahead,
it's
folks.
true. We would have
Hold
got an
on.
ambush.
Alright.
Initiative. God, do I remember how to do this? Hello.
So I wonder if they were mimicking me.
This whole
I
thing
will-
sounds like a Doctor Who episode, and I'm so okay with this.
Yes. Agreed.
They might have been.
When you
mimicking
when at the beginning of the session when you said like, oh, it's like a Christmas Doctor Who special, I was like, yeah, it is.
Uh-huh, you betcha.
Yay.
And let's
Oh, I'm fast today, I guess.
let me
Roll for Bellaman. If you can.
here real quick. Let's see. We won't be doing a battle map for this because it's a pretty, and there are several enemies, but it shouldn't. We don't really need a battle map for it. And let's see. All right, what did everybody roll? 21, 10. Everybody. I will roll for Bellaman as well. I'm just gonna give his goat the same thing for 21. Nice. He got 18.
Bellaman does like to
also
fight.
nice.
He's like a
Paladin
really
Tenor
angry
are
Lorax.
Not here. So I'm gonna take
He really is.
He really is. He's like, I speak for the trees!
Yeah.
I speak for the
They have no
truth.
tongues.
Reg, you also got 18, but your thing is lower.
Yeah.
Or not turns than Harmony, so I'm gonna give you 17. Elijah,
That's fine.
wait, why is it switching back? What the heck? 18, Harmony, 18, Red, 17, Turrid, where's Turrid? 10. Field Guardians aren't here. Crowan is also not here. Corella, 13. Why are you in the order twice? That works. Oh, I guess that was it added you.
I only see Reginor on the order. That's right.
Yeah, I'm the one I see as well, and I can't change it to 17.
Oh, weird. I don't wonder what happened with the turn order where it's like bugging me out like this now.
I wonder
You
if
could
it's...
just use the pen and paper.
I'll just do.
Yeah, honestly,
Edit
it's
it.
okay. Oh.
In that case, first up in the order is Elijah.
Hey, let's see if they bleed.
You are surrounded by these 5 weird-looking ice creatures.
Fuck you and your snow! And I'm gonna try and swipe at him.
Sure. They're. Let's see. Hold on. Gotta pull up the thing. They're kind of. They're like. I don't know how to describe it. They're humanoid, but they're very. They're a little bit bigger than you. Like they're probably large creatures. And they are. Jagged, sort of has ice spikes all over them, and there are 5 of them surrounding you. You said you're gonna attack one of them. Roll to hit.
Roll to 13.
You did. 13 unfortunately does not hit.
Back.
Actually,
Run away.
it hits and just kind of bounces off.
Bah.
Ice on these things is pretty solid.
I don't like these guys. They're pretty tough. Bye. They run away.
You run away. Are you going to hide or disengage?
Just disengage. I can only do one or the other.
Okay, you disengage. It is now. Yes. Okay, it is now Reg's turn. No, wait, it's Harmony's turn to put it in the wrong order. Hold on.
Okay. I'm not used to going this early. Sure. Guess now would be the time to use the flame blade.
Wow, yes.
I don't think there would ever be a better time to use it.
Hell yeah.
Okay. But actually, oh man. The bad news is that I'm dumb, and it's gonna take me a minute to figure out how to use this.
Hold on, I can look it up for you.
Oh bless. I mean, Harmony doesn't want to use the flame blade because it's literally like, you know, blaze fire or whatever, but
Wait.
They're angry ice people.
yeah. Her friends are in danger.
Hi Anna, what's up?
Name.
Corella did a thing and helped. It's been a productive
I wasn't
session.
able to break the ice.
Hey.
Aw.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah, oof, big oof.
Chat.
I hate it here.
There you go. Okay. So weird. How do I get this to like? I believe maybe if I do this. This. Okay, here we go. This might work. Like 15 different versions of Flame Blade up on my screen, trying to figure out how to show it to you.
Oh, the blades.
Okay, so it's not my fault.
Yeah, no, I have no. It's really weird how it works on them. Okay, I'll just tell you what it does. Okay, you cast it as a bonus action on yourself, and it's a concentration spell. But for the next 10 minutes, a fiery blade in your free hand. It's in similar size and shape to a scimitar, and it lasts for 10 minutes. If you let go of the blade, it disappears, but you can the bonus action without using the spell again for the next 10 minutes. So you can't like throw it, but you can hit with it. Use your action to make a melee spell attack with the blade. If it hits, the target takes 3d6 fire damage.
Oh my lord.
The flaming blade also sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius, and dim light for another 10 feet.
Do they have any disadvantage in fire?
I don't know, do they? Who's to say?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna hit him, and we're gonna find out.
I have no idea.
Okay, gotta roll a melee attack, yeah?
Yeah.
Which button is that?
Roll me. I guess it's weird how it would work because I don't know if you have a scimitar.
Don't.
Just roll me a d20 and add your any weapons.
Wouldn't it be her spell proficiency modifier or whatever?
Or if it uses your
Mace.
spell. It just says, oh yeah, melee spell attack. So yeah, whatever you use to cast spells.
Does it use like charisma or wisdom for her spells?
Whatever class. So whatever you would usually roll to cast a spell.
To be honest with you, whenever I do cast a spell, I usually just click on a spell and it does it for me, and I'm like, oh, good.
Okay, roll me a d20 and add your what do you use? You're a cleric, right? What do clerics
Yeah.
use?
Do they use charisma?
Is it in? Hold on, let me check.
I've never played cleric before. It's one of the only classes I have played.
It is wisdom, I think.
Wisdom.
Add your wisdom modifier. Roll a d20, add your wisdom modifier and your proficiency bonus. Is what did you roll? 15. That
Wisdom modifiers 2.
if you okay, wisdom plus your yeah, you'll definitely hit.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a non-natural 20 for you, I think. It roll 3d6.
Hey.
Okay. You slash at this thing, and this flame blade does seem to cut through the ice easily, and especially well. And you do 26 damage.
Ah! It does crit damage.
Yes. Sure.
Whoa, that's a cool sword.
It's now Reg's turn.
Okay. He smash.
Give him a good smash. Are you
He's
gonna hit the
gonna-
same one?
Yeah, he'll hit the same one. Misses.
That does in fact miss, unfortunately. But you have 2 attacks.
Attack, so he takes another one.
Hits.
10 bludgeoning.
10 damage. Okay.
Do I get to ask if it dies before I use my Divine Smite?
You do not, unfortunately.
So then I'll activate it then.
Okay.
Actually, I'll activate it at 2nd level.
Actually, as you... No, wait. Day it was?
It is Radiant, I think?
No,
Yeah, radiant.
the normal attack.
Oh, bludgeoning.
Then yes, it hits, but it seems to actually not be super effective.
Okay, but I'll use Radiant
and that-
damage then.
Oh, yeah, you do half damage with the so it does 5 damage instead of 10. But you can also roll the radiant attack.
Alright, I'm gonna do it at 2nd level, so 3d8. 15 extra damage.
Cass is doing a great job.
Radiant.
15 extra radiant damage. Okay, so that's a total of 20 damage.
Or wait, or I don't know, so it'd be 20. Yeah, okay, 20.
Trying to think of
I
what
was
I'm
making
gonna
sure
do
you
on
still
my
divided it by
turn.
2, the original stuff.
Okay, so you do 20 damage to this thing. And okay, yeah, this thing is looking pretty bad. Standing.
Okay, and
It is now Bellman's turn to give this thing a good thwack. To hit it with his yes, that's what he uses. He's gonna hit him with his halberd. All right, let's see. Okay, he rolls a. Oh, that's definitely gonna hit. That's a 19 plus whatever. D10. He slashes at this thing with his halberd, and it completely. It seems ineffective at first, but because of the damage you all already dealt to it, he kind of hits it in the spot where Harmony hit it before, and it crashes right through it, and it shatters. One of the ice creatures is now dead, and the goat is going to now take its turn. If I remember correctly, it can sprint and attack to do its attack thing. So it's going to. It's weird having to play as Bellman.
yeah, I don't know how Hammy does it.
Maybe he has a signature move.
Yeah.
that he likes to do.
Luckily, Hammy did actually make a character sheet for the goat,
He sure did.
It's
so I
amazing.
can actually just do this. He's going to charge at one of the ones farther away. He's going to run at them. Unfortunately, that does not hit.
He loves that boy so
Yikes.
much.
So the goat misses, and it is now Corella's turn. Ice golem things remaining.
Okay, I
Roll
want...
really low initiative.
What?
I was wondering, they haven't attacked yet.
I think we all might have just rolled higher than them.
Who hasn't attacked yet?
Sorry.
The bad boys.
It's true.
So I want to use a twin spell and use it to cast haste on 2 of my friends. And I would like to give haste to my snow friends, Turid and Reg and Or.
Turn and Reg, you now have haste applied to you.
Speed demon Elijah.
Hell yeah.
You're not quite as fast as Elijah was last time because it's not that kind of battle, but you're very fast. Read all the stuff that does.
Get the rush.
But that is Corella's turn, and it is now all of the ice things' turns.
There we go. That sounds great.
First, one of them is going to attack you, Harmony.
No, question. Quickly, how close are they, and are they close enough for me to use my sentinel ability?
When they come into... Yes, I would say... Well, it depends on which one. The one that is attacking... but the one that is going to attack... Well, you'll see.
Okay.
Some of them.
Let me know when.
Yes, I will tell you when you can do that. One of them comes to attack Harmony.
No.
Oh,
It does. Bellman actually gets to use his thing to give him a good thwack because he entered his range. So he deals another. Well, that misses. So he does not hit it. And I also forgot last turn he would have done this, but he moves his Hunter's Mark to, I guess, this one. I'm trying my best to play Bellman as well. And on this thing's turn, it's going to attack Harmony. Let's see if that hits. I need to make... There it is. Yeah, that's a 19 to hit.
okay. Yeah.
Harmony. Okay, it's a 19. This is the first. Does that hit? 19?
Yes.
19. It actually rolled 2 attacks, but the other one was a nat 1, so I didn't bother. It just completely whiffed that one. But the first one hits. And it does... Where's my thing? It does 10 damage, and it does another cold damage. So 14 damage total.
Oh. It's been a while since Harmony's gotten hurt.
Oh, so this is what pain feels like.
Yeah. No, this is what everyone knows.
It doesn't feel great. It's very cold. Like it hits you with a sort of a very large bludgeoning force, but just the touching it, making contact with your skin is very cold, so it does extra damage to you. And the other one is going to attack Bellaman, also stepping within its range, but I think he can only do that at once as a reaction. So he will not do that again. But one was going to attack Bellaman. That is a 17 and 18, which I believe both hit Bellaman. Let me make sure. Yes, they do both hit Bellaman. So roll damage for both of those. Plus. That would be... That's a lot. Bellaman takes 23 damage as he's hit
Oh no!
the 2 big smacks. Rolled pretty high with damage. So Bellaman takes 20. Alright. Yeah, and that is that one's turn. Next one is going to run at Turret and attack you. As it comes at you to attack Turret, you get to do your. Oh, actually, well, the first one is attacking you, right? Well, then you don't get to. Oh, you do get to hit if it's attacking you.
Roll it just in case, but hello. Oh wait, am I? Oh no, I'm not muted. Okay.
No, I hear you.
It's just my thing bugging out again.
Computer makes an attack against a target other than you. Okay.
Well, you can't attack. You can't attack against this one, but another one is about to attack Elijah.
Okay. All right.
You
It
can't. You
failed.
can't pick up. But first one attacks you, and does a 9 hit you?
No,
Or
not does not.
doesn't.
Oh, is that
Misses
from
both times. And the other one is going to try and attack Elijah, which you can attack. So roll to hit that with your sentinel thing. Oh, no.
You want me to try again, or use the one that I did?
You can try again. I'll allow it.
Well, sorry, Elijah.
Well, unfortunately, he does not hit it, and Elijah, this thing gets a 15 and a 16.
15 and a 16 both hit.
Okay.
Oh.
21 damage.
21.
Oh no,
Yes,
my
21 damage total.
friends.
No, not my friends.
That is true. Who was the other one? Turd and who? Bunny, who has the other +2?
Oh, it is snowman friends, so Turret and Nora.
Okay.
Nice.
And with that, it is now
Wait,
Turret's
I
turn.
have +2 to my armor class.
You sure do.
I have a 20 armor class. That's insane.
No idea.
You'll never be hit.
In one of our campaigns, we had a character, which one of my characters at one point had 24 armor class because
Oh
of a
my
bunch
God.
of different stack things. It was only temporary, but there was nothing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Although at that level, things can very
Yeah.
easily still hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The 24.
But
yeah, it is now Turret's turn.
I'm gonna go into a rage.
Hey.
Do that thing. So do reckless attack. Cool. I'm gonna do that and tell this ice bitch to not hit my friend. And go for the one after. No one after Elijah.
Okay, smack it.
Hit it.
You have advantage.
Wrong. Oh
I
wait,
used Uncanny Dodge, by the way.
I'm Warhammer too. I was using one-handed. Now I got two hands on it. Heck yeah.
Well, you have advantage, so you can roll again to see if you get a net 20, but that does in fact hit.
Okay, sorry, with advantage.
But yeah, you do hit. Do you have yeah.
Ooh, nice.
By the way,
If she's
I feel like I do. I just don't have it written down anywhere.
if you're raging, I think.
doesn't you don't get it from raging.
I
I just
thought
can't
it was
remember if barbarians get. I remember
I've been-
barbarians.
Um,
I feel like maybe you might not. I don't know.
Until you get like Great Weapon Master or something like that.
We'll check right now because I actually have the barbarian page open. Extra attack at 5th level. You can attack twice. Yes. Okay, so you do get to attack again. But
Heck 'em
the first one does hit. Roll me again. Okay, that also hits. So roll damage for both of them. Oh, the first one, 12 and 8.
the 22.
You do 20 damage.
With haste.
However, what does haste give you? For damage?
You?
I think it's for saving
No.
throws, and then you get an extra.
Advantage on dex saving throws, yeah, and then the AC.
You do 20 damage, but unfortunately, it does seem to be resistant to this sort of damage, so you do 10.
Well, shit.
But yes, you have given it a pretty good wallop, and it is now back at the top of the order.
Sorry, I was only half paying attention. Did she get her extra action from
Yeah,
haste?
with haste.
No,
Okay.
she did not. I forgot that was a thing. Go right ahead and do an extra action.
So, can I
Yeah, you
hit
can,
it again?
You can attack again. Yes.
Okay.
Twice.
Oh
I guess.
wow.
That
Smash.
hits.
That only does another like 4 damage, right?
Oh,
That it rounds up, so 5.
So 15 total.
Attack again because it's a whole nother action.
Oh shit! Okay, you guys just see me. It's just Turd like with her warhammer, like smashing it as much
Her
as she
arms
can.
are a blur.
All right,
it's not gonna hit.
that misses though. So you hit another 5 damage, so total 15 damage is done to this thing. To the top of the order with Elijah.
There's a guy on top of me.
Kinky.
Pretty much,
I'm
yeah.
gonna I'm gonna disengage from him and go to the one that Turret's fighting, so I can get on the other side.
She's fighting the one that's right in front of you. You
That
could,
is hitting me. Oh, okay, cool.
yeah,
So,
you could actually just move around it without having to disengage and
Yeah.
still attack it. And
then I'll get on the opposite side so I can get that extra sneak attack on it.
well, you don't have. It doesn't have to be opposite side for sneak attack, but you do get +2 from being on the opposite side. As my those are sort of homebrew, but that hits. So 5 damage, plus your
the
sneak attack.
Ooh, nice.
So that's
Good
19
damage.
rounds up, so 10 damage to this thing.
Chill out. Then I disengage and run.
Yeah, then you disengage and run away. This thing is looking. I can't say bloodied because
Yeah.
it's weird trying to come up with words for
He's
bloodied.
looking
That
melty.
yeah, it's like you can use splintered for like wooden metal things, kind of. Guess things like this. And it is now Harmony's turn.
Ta-da-da.
Flame sword.
Use that again. Harmony's not really used to using this. She does not use it. But
Yeah. I mean, this is probably the first time you've ever used it.
it's, yeah,
Canon, the first time you've ever used this tool.
correct. So,
Like broad machete swings.
yes, it's just like wild, terrified screaming.
So yeah, I guess you can attack any of the ones you want. You can attack the one they've been attacking that's kind of low. You can attack one of the other ones.
I think I'll attack one of the other ones. Because I trust my friends that they can take that one down pretty soon. Started on another one.
Good smack.
Okay. Okay. So that's a roll. I'm gonna hit it with my sword.
Unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
that misses. You do miss with your attack.
Just whiffed it.
I believe that is your action, so that is your turn. It is now Reg's turn.
Okay. He'd probably attack the one that Cass just attacked, or Harmony just attacked. Is that one close enough to me to attack?
It's right next to you.
Oh yeah, I'll attack it. I think that's a
Unfortunately,
miss.
that misses. But you do get another attack.
I missed as well.
It's both miss.
It's
Unfortunately.
my turn.
It is now Bellaman's turn. Bellaman, seeing that you guys have both missed this, is going to try and attack it himself. Bird. That definitely hits. He rolls damage. He also gets to smack it again with his hilt. That misses though. So he does 7 damage, which would round up to 4. 4 damage. And that is his turn. However, his goat is now going to charge at this thing again. Where did the goat page go? Oh, here it is. Okay. The goat is going to charge at this one. And he gets a 17, which will hit. 14 damage. So that's 7. So 11 damage total to this this thing. Corella's turn. Corella, there are 4 ice golems in front of you. 2 of them are looking
Not so great. Okay, I am going to have her, I don't know where she is in relation to them. I'm just gonna attack whichever one would theoretically be closer to me.
okay.
And,
That would be the one next to Elijah and Turin.
How close are Elijah and Turd to this thing?
Elijah is moved away from it. Turret's right next to it.
Lob a fireball.
I was gonna do fireball, but I want to hurt my good friend. So
that
Definitely
would be
position the fireball so that it only hits the thing.
I
In
bet
fact,
it does like splash damage or something, or doesn't like.
It has like a
But-
field.
Yeah,
it's a
like
range, but you can put it where it would only hit it.
All right, I mean if
At the edge of it.
If
In
Turd
fact,
can be
I
saved-
believe, and it's confusing because there's no battle mat. You could hit 2 of them with a fireball without hitting turret because of their placement.
Oh, can I like fling a fireball and bounce it off both of them?
Wait, are you talking about fire bolt or fireball?
Ball. No, bolt. I'm a liar. Bolt.
Oh, okay, bolt. That's very different. Then you can just shoot one of them with a firebolt.
Okay. Then yes, I will. shoot-
Fireball is a like, full explosion.
Yeah, no, I don't have a explodey boy.
That hits though.
Nice.
I did it.
10 damage. So you damage to this thing, and it actually melts a hole straight through the center, and it falls over and
Yeah.
shatters.
Hey.
And
Merry Christmas,
that
you filthy animal.
happy candle nights, and then you just blast a hole through it. And it is now Turret's turn.
Alright, don't they go before me?
Yes, they do. I messed up. Thank you for telling me that. They do go before you. They are going to attack. One of them's going to attack Bellman again. There are now 3 remaining. One of them's going to attack Bellman. That is a miss, and that is also a miss. One of them's going to attack Harmony. Hits. And one of them is going to try and attack Corella.
Oh,
Is,
no.
Am I Sentinel, any of them?
that Sentinel, the one attacking Corella.
Yeah.
And because of the nature of it, well, no, you have it. So yeah, you hit it. Because of the nature of Sentinel, not only do you get to do damage to it, but it stops in its tracks and actually does not make it to Corella.
Okay.
And yeah, so you sort of trip it up, and you also get to roll damage.
Excellent.
Okay, so you do 6 damage to it, and it is now the other ones, and I believe, yeah, the one of them hit Harmony, and that's it. So. Damage Harmony.
Oh no, my friend.
Oh, sorry.
And there are
I was
3
confused.
left.
I'm eating ravioli, so I keep muting myself so you guys don't hear me eat
God, I
ravioli.
wish I had ravioli.
Wow, what I wouldn't do for ravioli.
Food.
Real good.
What I would not do for a bowl of ravioli right now. Okay, yeah, there are 3 left. You take 12 damage, and it is now Turret's turn.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna do the one that I just hit that was going after Corella.
Give it a good smack.
Or smack.
Yes, you do. And that's a crit.
Kill him.
So you
There's
do
1.
14 damage. This hits.
2.
Hits, so 14 plus 5.
Look at all
Okay,
these
that
angels
also
there.
hits. Christ.
God.
Are you still cutting them in half, Hemi? I mean, not Hemi, big.
Yes, except for the
This
crit,
one?
because it's
Okay,
it crit
okay.
plus 5 plus 5. So 24 damage you just did. Okay, this thing is looking real bad. But it's not done yet.
Put it in the
It's-
bitty pieces. Itty bitty pieces.
Super cracked, but it's not shattered. And it is now Elijah's turn.
Oh, I'm gonna do a typical scimitar attack. Oh, hey!
Nice. That is
Second attack.
is also doubled. So that's I'll just say it's what it is because it's doubled but halved.
Yeah.
So that is 17 damage. And this is to the one that was attacking, that Turd was attacking?
Yep.
You stab right into a weak point, or slash right through a weak point, and it just explodes into a million pieces.
Don't worry, if you shatter it, it glue you back together.
What?
It
No.
glue you back together.
Oh my god. Is he still drunk?
Oh my god.
Uh,
I love it.
I hate the snow so much. Get me out of here.
It's Elijah's one-liner, folks, and now
Alright.
on to Harmony.
Okay,
Harmony, it
Parmesan.
is now your turn. Remaining.
Are they both at full health?
One of them is like half health about.
Alright, I want to get that one.
Attacking before but missed.
I'm gonna attack at it again.
Smack! That misses.
God damn.
Unfortunately, it's, it's your turn. So now it's now Reg's turn.
Yes, he will smash one of them. He's got this.
The dice do not want you to hit with this sword because of how good it is.
Dude, don't want. We got this, Cass.
I've never used a scimitar, guys.
It's true.
Yeah.
The fact that you hit the first time is pretty impressive.
It was very
You get
badass
to
for a minute.
attack.
Yeah. It's my turn now, right? I'm not jumping
Yes,
the gun.
it is your attack. Reg, you have haste as well, so you get another action. You can also attack.
I thought you couldn't use that action to attack. I thought you could only have one attack per turn. I thought it was still normal attacks.
You might be
Yeah.
right. I'm kind of tired. I may have forgot that. So I'm just gonna allow what Turret did. Don't worry about it.
Okay, then I'll just... Okay, those both hit.
Yes, they do. They do both hit.
I totally forgot that I would wanna do Divine... I'm gonna Divine Smite the second one at second level.
Okay.
So that's a 3d8, I think. I'm gonna check. Just to
I would like to point out, I'm looking at the goat's character sheet, and Hammy set his class to bro. Is fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah.
The goat's his favorite thing in the whole wide world.
Oh yeah, 3d8.
Bromance. So strong.
Oh, that is not what I wanted.
What, are you doing
Ah,
fractions?
sweet! He rolled a 0.375.
You've done
No,
it.
I rolled an 8 for Divine
So you
Smite.
do total 16 damage. This thing
then
is
I still get
looking.
2 more attacks, right? By these new rules we're going.
To make it fair, let's say you get one more attack.
All right. Oh, that's a dagger. I clicked it.
What is
I
happening?
clicked it.
Takes out 80.
I clicked that, so I stabbed. I guess.
I guess I did.
You randomly pull this dagger out of thin air. I guess you had in your
I
bag.
guess I have it. I don't know.
Wow.
Actually, okay, in canon, I feel like because it's Reg, you like swing with your hammer and miss, but because of how like heavily you swung, the dagger flies out of your bag
It stabs the guy.
and hits the thing.
Wow.
Damage. It's looking. The thing is looking pretty bad now.
Oh man.
It's now Bellaman's turn, who's going to try and give it a good smack. That is a hit.
Good.
Damage. Oh, I can actually. I was rolling my dice. I can roll. Well, it doesn't matter. It hit. If that's going to definitely do enough damage to. Let me just roll it in here, so you guys can see it. That's it. Just ignore whatever that roll is. Oh, it hits anyway. Actually, it's the same roll I got, so nice. So 7 damage. That will actually shatter this thing, and it explodes into pieces. There's now only one remaining, which the goat is going to charge at. However, this one is at full health. And that unfortunately misses. Let's turn.
Oh, me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Sorry. Everyone has so many turns. I'm here. There is 2 people left. 2 monsters left. Is that right? I'm gonna do a Firebolt again.
All right,
It seemed to work okay last time.
Firebolt. That's really, really good.
Wow, he's. Wow, I sure did 1 damage. It did it.
You know, if it helps, the 1 damage was not halved.
Thanks.
It is in fact 1 damage. Okay, well, this thing is now taken 1 damage, and it looks offended.
It's like, wow, I
It doesn't.
Can't believe
I don't
you've
feel like
done
it has the kind of muscles to really make a sort of offended face, but it looks like it's like, what the fuck, uncool.
this. Not
Blew off a finger.
My favorite shoulder pad. Like, and it is now Turret's turn. Sorry, it's the thing's turn. I keep forgetting. All right, the thing is going to attack Turret, which it has advantage because of reckless attack.
Sorry, I missed a little bit. The thing disconnected.
Sorry, did I cut out?
No, it was me. It was me.
It's attacking you. Sorry.
Attacking me?
It 16 hits you.
If it ties, yeah.
D&D is free.
It does hit you.
Right now.
And
Like,
the
you can play it
second
on the website for free,
one,
but like someone said you a
Yeah.
handbook. would cost
24.
money.
A
Oh.
critic.
So,
But yeah.
24 damage?
It's fun. You should try it.
Both hit you. Let me roll damage.
Okay.
Five damage from this thing, as it
Oh, that's
smacks you with 2 big icy fists.
That's nothing. Oh, wait.
but
What kind of damage?
The
Let me
first,
read.
it's bludgeoning and half both of those, I believe.
Okay, there is. Where is it? Nope. Nope. Reckless attack.
High drag, by the way.
It's from range.
Have
I believe your bear totem makes it where, because you have the totem of a bear, you're resistant to all damage but psychic when you're raging. So you take half damage from that.
Oh,
I guess that would be
and
13 damage.
Okay. Sounds good.
13 damage, and it is now your turn.
Murder.
That hits.
Oh, that's not very
Damage.
good. But I do. get
Okay, you
one.
do. You actually get 3 because of the weird rules I've made up.
Okay.
The second one does not hit, unfortunately. Okay, so you do 5 damage total.
Okay.
And it is now Elijah's turn.
I'm gonna get on the other side and just pull another. The amount of ice puns, fuck!
Oh, and actually, you have +2, Turd. You have +2 to all your attack rolls right
And
now, right?
AC.
Oh, I
Or
think
is it-
so. Yeah.
Yeah, that and AC.
True, is it just an AC? Maybe it's just AC.
I think it's just
Uh,
AC.
Oh, it is just AC.
Which,
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, which means the AC is 16.
Unfortunately, that misses Elijah.
That's me. Disengage, run.
Engage, and Harmony, it's your turn.
Hey, I'm gonna hit it this time.
It was ice to me.
It was nice to meet you.
Oh my god.
Give it
There
a
you
good
go.
slash.
I'll give it a good slash. I'm gonna get it. For fuck's sake.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, it seems you actually try to slash at it, but because you haven't used this magic before, you actually deactivate and reactivate it around the slash. So, like, it right before it hits, it deactivates and then reactivates on the other side. So you miss.
Oh.
And it is now Red's turn.
Rennie's gonna look very embarrassed and a little sad.
Smash! Let's go. He's got this.
That's a hit.
And then I think I'm out of tier 2 spells. But I'll just use a regular. I almost did the division again. God.
It's so good. I'm gonna attack with math.
You get him.
So 9 radiant.
Okay, so the radiant isn't halved, so okay.
Oh.
Okay, wait. So first you did 6, and then another 9. Gotcha. Okay. You roll the damage to the crit. That's 8 or 20 damage. Already done before. Okay, this thing's looking pretty bad.
And then Divine Smite on that. I assume I can just keep Divine Smiting. It's not like once per turn, right? 9 more damage on top of that.
You know, well, honestly, I'm gonna have to check into that. But again, you know, cool.
No, it looks like I can do it whenever. But yeah, so then do I still have that extra attack? Or are we done with that now?
Yes,
Like...
you get one more attack because of the Candle Knight's miracle. You can attack one more. Yeah, that definitely hits. Reg, I don't know how you like always roll above 20s while trying to attack. 4 damage. This thing's looking pretty bad, but it's
and then Divine Smite.
With the power of that Divine Smite, it sort of starts to glow with its divine energy and explodes. You have solved my ice monster puzzle.
Yay!
We did it!
Yay!
All my joints lock back up because of the cold.
As you do, the snow seems to completely disperse to like a tiny, just a very light snowing. And a lot of the snow on the ground starts to melt a little bit. And the large sort of chunk of ice around the blue tiefling starts to melt as well. Yeah, Turd, I have, that's enough time, for sure.
Okay, cool.
And, find this.
What about the snowman? Is he okay?
Yeah, is the snowman okay? We have
Snowman, the snowman looks fantastic.
Hey!
Our friendship!
Completely melting or anything, it's just not as oppressive as it was before.
Aww.
No,
We'll have to patch it up.
snowman's fine. Just, I'm talking about like the major
The
amounts
normal
of snow.
Oh,
I
okay.
push the snowman over. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that.
And
Be so
with,
If you did, we would make one around you, Elijah.
Snowman.
but with this, the skies start to clear. The
Such good
the oppressive snowstorm stops. The sun starts to come out just a little bit. You all feel just a little bit warmer.
I'm going back inside.
The ice around the blue tiefling melts completely, and he falls to the floor and starts coughing, but he seems alive and awake.
Where's our magician friend or magic friend? From
Crowan?
He's working.
Yeah, where's Crowan?
He's supposed to be.
You haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's been fixing the teleporter.
So he claims.
Suppose.
How convenient for him.
Yes, how convenient for the DM is more accurate.
Sorry, continue with your heartwarming story.
And the tiefling stands up, and immediately all 3 of the tiefling brothers hug.
Aw.
Aww.
They all kind of give each other a big hug. The dwarf, Smakrilmo both have big smiles on their face. All of which, by the way, I totally forgot about in combat. I'd like to point out.
They were just watching. It's fine. We
Like
had
literally
one.
all of them. I had this whole thing planned. They were all ready to fight.
We're just
You
really
know,
good at
I got
fighting.
caught up in the Christmas, the Candle Knights vibe.
It's a Candle Knight's miracle.
Hey.
With this, you are all left in this square with your snowman, and the dwarf says, "Well, I think we all need a drink," and he says, "Follow me," and he starts to walk towards his tavern, which you can now clearly see in the distance.
Can I push Elijah into the snowman?
No.
into the snowman. That might hurt the snowman.
Not the snow boy.
Yeah, that might hurt the snow
I don't
boy.
care about Elijah, but you might hurt the snowman.
Uncanny
But-
dodge.
But
I don't think that's how that
oh,
works.
all of us
Gotta
can
get
make a
serious
new
here.
one. Eh?
Yeah.
Eh?
together.
Eh?
Elijah
sure,
gets
roll- I
pushed
know-
into the snow again.
Are you gonna try and dodge this, Elijah?
No.
All right, Elijah, you get pushed into the snowman. And your head sort of comedically goes through the head of the snowman.
Oh, perfect.
You fall onto it.
It's Ice Elijah!
Promo sort of laugh.
Unbelievable.
Well, I assume. Do you all make another snowman, or are you gonna save that for after the tavern?
After the tavern,
No.
I want some hot cocoa.
Let's get some hot
Back-
cocoa.
Okay.
You all head back to
Okay,
the tavern,
okay.
and funny you should say that because awaiting you are several cups of what you have never heard of before, but is in fact hot chocolate.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yes!
Are there marshmallows in this?
Yes, we need marshmallows.
Not marshmallows, unfortunately. because
Wow,
I
my
don't think they
immersion.
have those. But it is very nice, delicious hot chocolate.
I guess.
Harmony doesn't know how to get rid of her sword, so she's gonna hold that for a minute.
You can disperse that whenever you want.
Okay.
It's like I want to drink this, but I have a
Yeah,
flame
he's
sword.
just too scared to do anything with it.
Yeah.
I'll go away in like 5 more minutes, so I'll just.
Even Bellman, who has this whole time just been kind of grumpy about the whole situation, seems just well, just a little bit, which is honestly more than you usually get from him. Drinks
This is
the
worst
Is there
field
hot
trip
chocolate for his goat?
yes, there actually is. There's hot chocolate
ever.
Okay, good.
The dwarf says, "I was making this before we all ran out. Glad it's still warm."
It's
You
quite
will also
tasty.
know. You also notice the. It's very weird that it's warm. It seems like maybe he was. You don't know because you can't see where you are, but it seems like maybe he had something that was keeping it hot. Because as you might have remembered, this whole tavern was frozen over. But now it is completely dry. It's not even wet.
Is there still that
it's-
hole in the ceiling or whatever?
It wasn't a hole. It was just coming through the chimney.
Oh, the chimney. That's right.
So I guess technically, yes, there is a hole in the ceiling. And you all sit around and enjoy this nice. He goes in the kitchen for a few minutes, or for a little more than a few minutes, and eventually comes out with a nice meal. And you all sort of share this nice holiday dinner together as a group of friends.
Aw.
After a little bit, you hear some sounds coming from the roof, and you look at the sort of fireplace, and you see some soot sort of falling down from the chimney.
No way.
Well, you all look at the chimney, and after a few seconds, Crowan falls to the floor from the top of the
Question: is the chimney lit? Is there a fire in the fireplace?
It's
Does
not.
he die?
Aw.
No, he lands on the floor and says, "Oh, there you all are."
Oh.
he,
Oh, it's you.
he picks himself up,
You'll feel.
and it's funny. He does actually have like red robes, so he does kind of look. And he has a like beard too. Well, not really a beard. It's like he doesn't have a beard. I kind of imagined him one, but he doesn't. But he has white hair.
He can have a beard if you want him to have a beard. Who's to say?
Beard. No, actually, he has a bunch of snow on his face.
That looks like a
So close to beard. And he stands up and he says, I was kind of searching the roof tops for you guys. I figured it'd be a better vantage point, but I sort of slipped and fell into this chimney. I couldn't believe the snowstorm that's been out there. I mean, Jeez, it was crazy.
That weather, huh?
And he is actually he is actually carrying a large sack. He walks up to all of you. He says, "Well, I felt bad about the whole teleporter situation, and I got it working a while ago. But obviously I was sort of snowed in. So while I was, and he sort of rummages through this bag and pulls out some gifts for you, which I'll actually tell you what they all are later. I'll say there are some health potions and some other like personal stuff, but I'll tell you all that later since we don't have a lot of time.
Okay.
But he does actually legit, like he looks very purpose handing you all these gifts, and everybody's is in a very cheery, happy mood.
Aww.
If you want to your guess as well, you can.
We throwing him in the snow now?
Yes, but Corella, would you want to give out your gifts now as well?
Oh, sure. Why not? I'll do that. I'll go by order of like who's sitting closest to me. So I turn, because she's sitting between Harmony and Turid, her two best girls, and she would reach into her cloak and she'd pull out the collar first and she'd hand it to Harmony and she'd be like, I know you just recently got your pet. I thought perhaps if you thought of a name, because she wasn't around when you named it, you could get it engraved, and you know, that way if you ever get lost or something, you know, people would know who to return the cat to. I just thought of you because you're my friend.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe you thought about me to get this.
Of course, I love all my friends, even the annoying ones. And then she looks at Elijah.
Oh.
He has a very confused look on his face.
And then she would pull out the blanket that's like all folded up and stuff, and she'd tell Turid, I remember when you gave Elijah that really, really nicely made blanket, and I thought it was beautiful, and I thought maybe you would like a blanket for yourself as well. Then she hands it to her. And,
Bear hug.
Bear hug. I
Big,
see what you did
big
there.
bear hug.
And obviously the goat bracelet, but Amy's not here,
No.
so and then she would hand Noir from across the table the hairpin, and she would tell him, I don't know if it's your style or not, but you do have, you know, your long, luscious, flowing hair. I thought maybe you might want to push some of it out of your face, or, you know, something nice. But I did see the motif of the pin. I thought it might be something you might like. It has some
And
non-existent
Reg, as
stuff.
she hands this to you, you instantly recognize this to be the symbol of Selyun.
It's literally like by my god.
Oh my god, it's my god.
My god. But yeah, no, he put it in his hair.
Nailed it.
I
And
don't know
then
if he put it in properly. He might like
She'll
not
fix
put
it
it in
later.
all right.
This is so wholesome.
Yeah, she'll help him do his hair later.
And yeah,
Elijah
you
already
guys-
has his
and
gloves. He didn't even say thanks, but whatever.
No, whatever.
Whatever.
and
know.
He
You
didn't
guys
really
all-
understand.
Oh, well, the gloves were your present as well, but, you know, you got tossed into a snowdrift, so that happened.
the gloves,
Look
by the
at
way,
that.
Elijah, feel very nice and warm.
He's like,
and with
gross,
this,
I hate
think,
them.
Yeah.
and with this,
Thank you.
You're
Yes,
very welcome.
Look up at Turd. Am I doing this right?
and
Turd pats
this-
his shoulders, just nods.
says, "Well, I don't mean to break up the holiday mood, but perhaps it's time we should be going."
Snow time!
Snow time.
And he
No
nods.
time.
Snow
And he,
time!
yells,
Snow
he
time!
nods and says, "Indeed, it is snow time." And you all walk
Turd,
outside.
Can Turd pick him up and throw, like, with him over her head, and like everyone's chanting,
Yes.
snowman, snowman.
Absolutely.
I'm absolutely
if,
okay
if
with
Elijah
this.
will allow that.
Yes.
Oh no, not Elijah. Sorry. What's his name? What's his name?
No, it's,
Rowan.
Can't-
We want to
Rowan,
throw
yes.
Rowan into the snow.
I pick up
Rowan.
Rowan.
Doesn't even. He just completely lets you pick him up.
Excellent, because I'm throwing him into the snow and we're making him into a snowman. Yes.
Rowan seems very amused by this and does not try to stop you.
Yes.
What do we need to roll?
Turd looks at Corella and she's like, "You know what to do."
Corella looks at her
Oh.
and she's like, "This is the best candle night's gift ever."
Because you are all because you're all working together to do this, and the dwarf and Smakromo and the tieflings and Burke are all helping you. I won't have you make a roll, and everybody you make a bunch of snowmans. You make a little snow family.
Aw.
Aw.
And in the center, you make a little a snow Crowan, which he is just sort of encased in
No.
snow.
I try and
And,
put a horse on mine, but it won't work.
A big grin on his face.
Well, if only
Um,
there were an invention where you could capture a moment
Yeah, right.
and be able to hold it and put
I
it in
put
your pocket
rubies
forever.
in the eyes of my snowman.
Rubies, of course you do.
I have jewels. I will, of course, take them as soon as I'm done.
And you all just sort of appreciate this nice moment with these friends you've been traveling with, and these new folk that you've never met before. Even Crowan, who has gotten on your nerves, you all sort of appreciate this moment together as.
No, I don't. I'm just kidding.
No, I
He's
do
okay.
not.
He's okay.
And Crowan himself has a big smile on his face. And eventually, he's sort of very carefully. No joke, Crowan is sitting in the snowman, and then he disappears and appears outside the snowman. And so it does not.
Wall
It doesn't.
axe.
The snowman doesn't collapse. It just it collapses a little bit where like his body parts would have been, but it stays up.
It's
for the
just
most
missing a head.
Wow, nicely done.
part. And he stands up and he says, "Well, that was quite pleasant." And he says, "Well, if you all don't mind, perhaps it's time we should be getting back."
Elijah's gonna grab his little sand necklace while we were all just standing there.
You guys are outside. A bunch of other people who were seemingly locked in their homes, frozen, start to come outside, and you see all these people, these candles and decorations, and little kids running around, and everybody seems happy and celebrating a nice candle night.
Let's go back. Let's go back to a place that has a significantly less snow.
You all assume make your way back to the teleporters, giving your goodbyes to the people you met.
Yeah, Corella would loop her arms through Harmony's elbow and Turt's elbow, and she'd walk in the middle of them because they're her friends.
Yeah, and you guys
I
all
was gonna
walk
say,
back to the
Turd-
teleporter. Oh,
Turd holds back for just like a couple extra seconds because she misses the snow.
Aww.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you guys.
Sneakily makes a snowball and takes it with her. Hopefully it doesn't melt by the time we get back.
Wow, I love it.
No reason.
Yeah, and you guys all make your way back to this teleportation circle. There's a lot of snow sort of on the steps. It seems like Crowan tried to open the door and got overwhelmed by a lot of incoming snow.
So did you actually fix this thing properly, or are we going to end up in another weird place where we weren't meant to go?
He says, yes, I'm absolutely certain. 100 minus a couple percent that this will definitely work.
Classic Rowan. Okay.
And you all, I assume, step in the teleportation circle. Bellaman seems extremely hesitant of this, again, even more so than he was before. But
It's like, thanks, I hate it.
not want to stick around here either, so he decides to step in.
As long as Turd steps in, I
And after that, you all feel the teleportation circle moving around you. And eventually, you feel the same sort of ethereal feeling you had before, and you are suddenly back. You started it.
Yeah.
Turret
So
there
we're
was no
level
problem.
at
7 now?
Elijah. Oh, I was gonna say, Turd looks at Elijah, hands him the snowball, and says, "Your target." And there you go. And then pats him on the head.
I don't know what to do with this. Fuck it. Bell!
Oh, no.
I will roll to see if Velman can dodge this. Oh my god.
God.
Well, I rolled a 2.
Aw.
So it smacks Velman in the back of the head. And as it does, Velman just turns around with a fit of rage and tackles Elijah into the floor.
Sounds right.
And I think this is a good point to leave the session off at.
Oh, I
Just-
love it.
Tackles to be continued, JoJo style. Just
I love the snow.
That was a good episode.
That was so great.
Oh.
I'm so glad not only did it all come together, but we got to do it in that amount of time. I literally
Yeah.
had not a single bit of that planned until when I got home last night at 2.
Oh my goodness.
You
Oh
did it.
man.
That was so fun.
Oh.
It was really fun.
I had a great time.
That was
Thank
a
you,
lot of fun.
Bacon.
Thanks, Bacon.
Thank you, Bacon.
Awesome.
Thank all of you. Thanks to everybody for watching. I had a great time. This is really fun. This is the first time I've ever done like a weird sort of holiday themed D&D session, so I'm really glad it turned out well.
Thank you for this delicious meal.
I'm also really glad that Crow and Santa was a thing.
Yeah.
That was-
Or since it is Candle Nights, the Crow and Star King, as I believe that's the Santa of Candle Nights.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys are now
Level 7.
well,
Yes.
we'll see about that
Level?
next session.
Oh.
You're definite. I will say you're definitely closer to level 7 than you were before.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean that in a way of like you're actually pretty close, but it's hard. It's
Okay.
the way Storm King's Thunder is. I kind of have to work around the
We had a
weird.
checkpoint.
That's fair.
You are closer, and you might level up before you would usually because of some of the things you've done
Okay, I'll accept
during
that.
this campaign. So the checkpoints don't work the same anyway. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see next section.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for the game, my
Happy
friends. I'm gonna.
holidays.
Thanks for playing, friends.
Oh,
Everybody.
Bacon. Someone wants to know if you like the McElroy family.
Yes, I am. I am a big fan. You like those boys? Those good boys.
There you go. The answer to the questions you seek. What do you mean it's stop mid-game next session? We don't stop mid-game ever. Shut
We
up.
never stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Mhm.
Can't stop, won't stop. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you to all my friends.
Alright.
And
Bye, friends.
I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.
It was fun.
Bye, my
Bye.
friends. Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Bye.
Happy holidays, yes. Happy
Happy
Merry
holidays,
Christmas,
have a
Happy
good
New
Christmas.
Year.
Happy Candle Nights,
Celebrate.
everybody.
Happy Candle
Yeah.
Nights, everyone.
Non-denominational holidays.
Yeah. Bye.
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 All right, we did it. We survived his Candle Nights puzzle, and it was good. We've done it. Is there anybody to even raid? Is the question. No one I really know is streaming right now. So we're just gonna end the stream. I would normally raid someone, but like, yo, I'm tired and hungry. I'm so hungry. Thank you for everybody who came out. It was a wholesome game, and I thoroughly enjoyed being able to play it with everyone. I didn't know if we were gonna have this session today. I'm glad it was a fun mix of like normal story, also / side holiday special. Go get that bread. I'm the duck, and all I want is bread. Hold on, where's that meme? I gotta show it to you. think it's like a... Oh, this is me. Here we go. It's from Octopus Pie. It's too hard to put it into context. Basically, it's like, the duck seeks only bread. And that's me. I only seek bread. Alright, thank you guys. You're the best. I hope you have a really good rest of your Sunday. Thank you again to Bacon for throwing together a really fun, fulfilling session in lickety-split no time at all. What a champ. And thank you for all the subs. Let me read them out one more time, because I am very thankful. Thank you to Undrak for the Prime subby. Thank you for subbing for 2 months in a row to Drigan. Thank you for the host lore. Thank you, Juice, for the tier 1 sub. And that was everything we did today. Take care.